He's bad. Bad as ever, baby. And he's back with a vengeance.
You can turn me up a little bit.
The baddest motherfucker around.
You ready, Fly?
Casanova.
I got vibes on grooves on vibes. I pass and I hand them out. My style just say, goddamn, you gon' think I'm a frying skillet, how I'm panning out. I don't get too outlandish now. I'm the truth and I know it. They give me the groove and I show it. I'm moving profusely and juking. And if we ain't kin, I may take a high duking and throw it. I'm bad, baby. Girl, I'm just too groovy. Yeah, I am. It's bad. The baddest motherfucker in the land. It's bad. Ooh, I'm bad, I'm bad. It's bad. I'm bad. The baddest nigga in the land, baby. Put more bitches in place than the landlady. I'm the boss, you bitch, you. I got a hold on it. This shit jujitsu. My hair and my bitches is something I pick through. This hoe is a lizard the way that she lick you. And I nickname my razor blade 5 cents. Cause if you move wrong, this bitch might nick you. Like premature babies, I'm very sure that I'm the baddest. This shit has been ever clear. That if a nigga hating and throwing shade, then foot massage. I'm the pedicure. Try me, bitch.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 89 of the SplashCast Monday Night Raw. I am your co-host, Reggie. Here, we discuss the Around the League edition, HBCU news around the culture, basketball, football, splashes of the week. We just had our pregame. Again, I am your co-host, Reggie.
I'm your co-host, Norwood. Welcome to the pod, the audio experience for the people who are listening, the video experience for the people who are watching. Always remember, like, follow, and subscribe. You like the pod, so tell somebody else about it. It's pretty fantastic.
We appreciate everybody tuning in with us today, man. We appreciate it all. We are here live on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Not live on Instagram, live on Instagram on Saturdays until we get IG producer. We're also on Twitch as well. Remember to do what? What are the 3 things they got to do, Norwood?
Like, follow, subscribe. Tell other people. Hey, hit the favorite button. Give us some positive ratings. We are a burgeoning black business.
Give
Support
us a
black business.
5-star rating, man. You come here for the HBCU news. You come here for the news around the league and some unbiased, untainted opinions when it comes to sports and everything that's coming out. HBCUs, we are definitely biased towards.
I ain't gonna say I'm not biased. I never root for Georgia, not a day in my life.
See, now, ladies and gentlemen, for those that have been tuning in to the SplashCast, you know that the Georgia Bulldogs are the 2-time national champions, current national champions of college football playoffs, done some things that have never been done before. I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything at all. I just put on the hat. I didn't reference nothing. I was cool. I got all of my insults about Florida off. I ain't say nothing bad. It is the Florida fan.
I didn't say anything bad either.
It's the Florida fan over there that likes to try to turn things up, likes to try to gaslight some stuff. It's cool though. I'll never root for Florida either. You can root for Florida.
I would never ask you to do that.
I would root for the national champions. So, with that being said, y'all know what it is. You come here for HBCU news around the culture. That's our first segment. That is our most important segment. That is a segment that is nearest and dearest to our hearts. Got a few things we're going to talk about. Some stuff that's on mainstream media. Okay. Some stuff that's on mainstream media. Some stuff doesn't make it to mainstream media. And it makes it to social media, but then I don't think it's highlighted enough. We don't think it's highlighted enough. We reported back when Fisk was the first HBCU to compete with gymnastics. We are now proud to announce that Talladega College has become the second HBCU to have a gymnastics program and compete in NCAA history. They announced it about a week ago. The news came out about 3 or 4 days ago. So shout out to Talladega College for continuing the trend of kicking down doors that are still closed or were closed in 2023.
Talladega for some of you people.
Ooh,
But this is a fan.
Yeah.
You got to hear him. Yes, in Talladega College.
Talladega. That's a reference
But
to
yes,
Hampton.
congratulations. Yes. Congratulations on this. Getting a team. I like to see more HBCUs with gymnastics programs. I think that now that we have two, I hope that there will be more to join them, and much success to them. Just like Fitz came right in and punched people in the mouth. So I would expect the same thing out of Talladega.
You know, I'm a proponent of keeping all of our athletes home. Why send the resources to other institutions when our communities need the resources as well? Probably more, because we are shortchanged in almost every level.
You think if you give people an opportunity like to play quarterback, then maybe you'll have two black quarterbacks in a Super Bowl?
The Black Bowl. Yeah, man. So,
like giving people opportunity, then maybe they'll have the opportunity to show off their gifts. Is that what you're alluding to, my friend?
Yes.
Wow.
And
who knew?
All it takes is one school. So again, shout out to Fisk. We also know that this isn't something that happens overnight. This isn't something that happens in weeks. So it's not like Talladega saw Fisk and decided we're going to do it too. This was already in the works. I want to praise and send admiration and love and congratulations to the front offices of these schools for getting this done, working through all the paperwork with the NCAA, and allowing for more of our athletes to stay home and circulate the money in the community. So this is wonderful all year round, all around. Go ahead.
I want to thank all the people who support us and know that this is an endeavor for us, who send us these things so that we can cover them on the podcast and get them out there. Thank you guys who do it, and to all the people who listen. If y'all catch something y'all think that we should talk about it, hey, send it to us.
Send it to us,
all we'll do is throw it in the group, and if it makes the cut, it makes the cut.
Yeah, man, and just let you know, there's not many HBCU topics that don't make the cut. So, like, we are going to talk about everything.
That's what we here for now.
Speaking of,
these people fight.
Speaking of, we're going to get there. Shout out to that school up there in D.C., man. Shout out to Howard. First, the Howard University swim team has the only all-black swim team in college swimming, and their meets they have been called the hottest around there. Playing swag surf. I have done a little bit of research on this. Coach Nick Askew has said that more and more schools want to come to Howard versus hosting because of the atmosphere that is created at Howard University at their school and their facilities. That is awesome.
Now, as a guy who was once a college-age man, I can 100% understand what exactly parts of the atmosphere that you might want to see at Howard University. If you haven't been, it is a wonderful campus, on campus. Now, stay on campus. Don't go off campus. But on campus, I'm sure if you're a man of college age, it will be fantastic. And that atmosphere will come through your pores, out your soul, and you thoroughly enjoy the atmosphere that is there for you.
You will, man. I have said, I went on record, and in our meetings, I have said that the SplashCast needs to make some of these events. I have no problem going to the gymnastic events, supporting Fisk and Talladega, going to Howard and supporting and viewing this in person. We are also looking for, if people that have a background in gymnastics, we're not going to say we are the most well-versed in that sport, but if you would like to accompany or meet us there, if you're in the area, we would love there and to get your expertise and even possibly have you on the show. But we definitely want to support these schools and these up-and-coming programs so that they can definitely, one, keep the focus on them so that they can garner more money and more support as well. But
absolutely.
Give them the platform that they deserve, and that's what we're here for. Give them the platform.
And how will people go to these things?
We
have to go to the event. We have to support the event so that we can have more.
Definitely
support all your HBCU sports, even the small ones, even more. Let's say that.
Definitely. Definitely, definitely, definitely. All right, man. So we did Talladega. Let's shout out to Tennessee State real quick. I'm gonna play this. So, what y'all are hearing? I guess I press pause first. Let me introduce it. Tennessee State University's marching band gets a historic Grammy win. They became the first HBCU band to win a Grammy Award for their gospel album, The Urban Hymnal, which was released last fall. That is fantastic. I'm gonna play this, and then I'm gonna let Norwood jump in. I'm gonna play this so you can hear the reaction as they win. For those watching, look at the. Could you imagine?
No, I couldn't. And that was gonna be my statement. Y'all better hope Hampton never wins a Grammy. Hampton wins a Grammy, I will buy the replica Grammy. I'll put it right back there, and y'all will see it in every episode. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm not playing with y'all. I will make sure that the Hampton Grammy makes it in every episode. Congratulations, Tennessee State. If I was going to work, I'd be like, hey, man, my college just won a Grammy this weekend. What did y'all do?
So
this is a W. I'm jealous, and I'm kind of hating.
There's a few things that catch my eye here. The thought that they put out an album. The fact that they took, for all the bands that we champion, right? Hampton, FAMU, Bethune-Cookman, Southern, Jackson State, Grambling, Norfolk State, South Carolina State. For all the bands that we champion. I said Hampton first.
I know. I just.
Oh, you said it again.
Never say it too many
times. For all the bands that we champion, and y'all correct us if we're wrong in the comments. I don't know of a band that put out an album, just an entire album. You saying yes?
It happened. I think it used to happen a lot more back in the day. Mm-hmm. I think it's something that I hope that they would look into going forward.
That's a way to generate money. Streams. Can you imagine? Do you imagine how many streams that they have? You definitely release an album, you put it on a stream. You gotta put it on. That's part of music today.
But then, what you gonna compose the music? Because you just can't re-record somebody else's music and put it out. Like, well, I can't say that you can't, but
I mean, it's the people like
that does not seem like the easiest thing to do.
I would assume that you could get a release. If an HBCU band, and let's be honest, they cover gospel music that we listen to that is dominated by black people. If you are a black gospel singer and an HBCU band says, hey, can I get you to sign off on us recording this while we play it and releasing it? If you say no, you gotta pay me. Huh? It would be, I'm assuming the HBCUs, or they pay you for it if they can monetize it. You could come out looking pretty bad if they say, nah, they wouldn't let us record it. They wouldn't let us release it.
I mean, now I see.
Yeah.
I see now. I don't have now.
No, you're right. You don't have to. Nice. You have, as the composer and writer and producer, you have every right to say no.
My intellectual property and my hard-earned work and my life's creation, I gotta sign it over to y'all now. I ain't with that neither now.
Well, I mean, if you're the band,
you gotta podcast take off and these HBs, we gotta give it to you.
You gotta assume that you gotta assume the band, they would come to an agreement, because if you're the artist, if I'm listening to these songs, now who's to say that they didn't write it though? The Urban Hymnal, that might be their own music that they composed.
We also know, like, the thing that we love the most about the black band is either like the older adaptations of great legendary songs, or the ability to be like socially relevant and whatever the new song is. So it's a give and take of, you got to have some good music that we want to hear. Now, if you have some original, I'm not against that. Clearly, I just made a 36 song playlist of a bunch of people who I'm getting to know. So I'm with that. But I know that for the large majority, they're going to want, hey, I want to hear something that I've already heard. Can you dress it up and make it real? And that's where it gets tricky. But do it. Don't hurt to ask.
Yeah. Yeah. And Sneaky, I don't know. It sounds like we might have been missing out on opportunities, but you know, I mean, it's an idea going forward.
Just be a gangster and just put it on SoundCloud.
Over and over again until Marvin Gaye people call
all right, well, scamming 101 here. Create a profile of a person and y'all record the song and you just upload it. That's it. I mean, what they gonna do?
Right, that's
David Smith. The David Smith SoundCloud. I don't know why he keep uploading melodies from heaven from FAMU Marching 100, but cool story, bro. That thing slapped in the morning. What you talking?
In other news, man, So shout out to Tennessee State, man. I don't want us to get that lost. Shout out to Tennessee State, man.
No, I said congratulations, awesome. And I'm hating. I made my intentions very clear.
So if for those that have followed the Ed Reed saga, looks like Bethune-Cookman has definitely moved forward and moved away from Ed Reed. Raymond Woodie Jr. has been hired. I hate that the article says to replace Ed Reed as head coach at Bethune-Cookman. Here's why I hate it.
He is replacing Ed Reed.
Ed Reed would never sign a contract. It was only a handshake, and then he got himself fired from a non-job. He got fired on his day off. He was never really the coach. They didn't ratify the contract. I don't think that's a firing. That's just we don't want you. But
congratulations, Mr. Woodie. Coach Woodie. He played at Bethune-Cookman for I think 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
After that, he actually went on and he coached at Florida Atlantic. He was most recently on the staff with Willie Taggart, who was just recently let go. But this is good because I think that you're getting more back to a familiar face who's comfortable with the university, who's spent the majority of his coaching career in Florida. This may not be the name that you guys wanted, but after
it might be what you need, though.
The saga, the fiasco, I just want to see this program move in the right direction at this point.
Yeah, unfortunately or fortunately, the spotlight has been put on this place. The spotlight has been put on Ed Reed. We're not gonna show him. The spotlight has been put on this university, and like it or not, whatever side you stand on in the Ed Reed saga, we all will be watching how the administration moves forward. What goes on moving forward. So the spotlight is on you. You can either capitalize or you can capsize. One or the other.
Hey, for sure. Now, none of us agree with the way that Ed exited, but we would also be a fool to believe that none of his issues
weren't true.
Were not real or unfounded. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that ball is really back in your court to a much higher degree now.
Definitely.
He said it. He didn't point it out. Now you got to fix it.
Reggie Theus, all the administration.
Oh, it's tight. Hey, y'all, the only real option you got from here is to become an All-American. You got to be the GOAT at your job because they're waiting for you to mess up now.
Yep.
And as soon as you mess up, you know what they're going to say. Ed was right.
I told you. Yep. Them I told you so people are waiting. So you can't give them that opportunity. Can't give them that opportunity.
They told you so.
Yep.
And I want y'all to understand that. We was very hard on Ed Reed, but we hard. Hey, accountability goes both ways. Y'all got to get it right.
Yeah.
If y'all got to have a school trash pickup every Wednesday and every Friday, then that's what it'll be.
Somebody brought that up. Where's the D9? Isn't that something that like the D9 would lead? Or some of your organizations that are on schools, your student government, really, your SGA, like isn't that?
It could be. It should be all the student organizations.
Yeah,
I mean that's their responsibility. The campus gives you a place to do different things and to express yourself however you want to. It should be your responsibility to clean up and take care of the campus. Now, I think that they should take a more concerted effort. Number one, but their issue is kind of bigger than that.
Mm-hmm.
If it was just like regular trash on the campus, you're right. Y'all get out there and everybody put their shirt on for whatever organization you in, student government, student union, all of that, and you go out there and pick up trash. Their thing is they have a lot of mold in things in buildings because safety hazards. You can't send kids in there to do anything with that.
No.
That is that's a whole different ballgame. So at this point,
I agree.
You gotta let the school take the lead. But if I went to Bethune-Cookman or I was an alum from Bethune-Cookman, there would be a no trash policy on the campus.
You gotta be your own enforcer. You gotta be your own enforcer.
It would be on 10 because you know that everybody's looking at you as the university who had trash everywhere. So when I tell you it's looking like, what is that, Japan or China where they have no trash anywhere? That's how we gotta be every day.
Yeah,
and it sucks for all parties involved. But you're not finna embarrass us in front of all these people.
And Alumni Association, hold them accountable, y'all. They spoke about, they changed the Alumni Association makeup and all this other stuff to try to get more giving, and they've restructured and all of that stuff. Hold them accountable. Donate. Money holds power. Donate. Hold them accountable. Make sure they do what they say that they're doing.
And pop up on canvas.
Always.
Hey, y'all just gonna let this trash be here? That's one thing about Hampton. Hampton will look at you stupid. We don't know you from a can of paint. Hey, pick up that trash, player.
Yeah.
What you mean?
Hey. What you throwing it on the floor for? What you throwing it on the ground for?
Pick that
and the thing is, hey, bro, you just gonna leave that there? That's how. Hey,
you know how much it costs to go. Hey, if you don't pick that up.
Hey, we pay for this cleanup. Y'all pick it up. We pay for these shrubs.
Hands on it. Shit. Pick that up.
Well,
that's not cool.
20,000 a semester if you ain't got no scholarship. Hey, pick it up.
If you don't pick that piece of trash up off that floor, we're gonna pick you up off this floor. One of the two.
Hey, man. Shout out to my other school.
Like a basketball player.
To my other school. Shout out to Coach Cater. Roger Cater and also Ricky Weeks will be inducted tonight into the National College Baseball Hall of Fame. This happened 3 days ago. But they'll be in the National College Baseball Hall of Fame, which is a big deal. Coach Roger Cater has been there was at Southern University for years. They had one of the best, if not the best, SWAC baseball teams and runs since he was there. Also, Ricky Weeks Jr. ended up making it to the major leagues. So shout out to both of them as well. Definitely earned.
Congratulations to Coach Cater, especially as a former member of the Atlanta Braves system. He was drafted in 1973 and played 5 seasons within the Braves system. We love the Braves here. We also love HBCUs. This is a great time for both of them.
Definitely, man. And I look forward to more Jaguars or Southernites being inducted into these Hall of Fame. They got a nice little run of Hall of Famers over there at Southern. So shout out to them as well. Finally, it's draft time, draft season. FAMU's Isaiah Land was listed as one of the top 5 fastest running linebackers at the Senior Bowl. He actually ran at 17.81 miles per hour, which was the 5th fastest amongst players, tight ends and linebackers at the Senior Bowl. Of course, Dorian Williams from Tulane and Luke Musgrave from Oregon State were the top 2. But Isaiah Land was so good, they actually played him all over the field. So here's him at the Senior Bowl. He actually gets a sack off the edge because he is known as an edge rusher. He actually led the NCAA in sacks. But that's him right here coming off the edge. But then what you don't know and what you don't see is they actually tried him here at middle linebacker, and he had a tackle for loss on his second play at middle linebacker. So what's that showing? That he's versatile and he can play he can rush the passer, he can tackle, and he could run. And shout out.
I mean, everybody wants the Micah Parsons-esque guy.
Yep.
And if you're fast and you can tackle, Hey man, we'll find a way to get you on the field. I don't care where you came from. Good football travels.
Isaiah Land, and of course everybody knows Aubrey Miller Jr. from Jackson State. If you don't remember, he was the one after the Celebration Bowl against North Carolina Central when everybody was leaving and going to Colorado. He said, "Come home, come to Jackson State. Everything you can do is here, right here." That's Aubrey Miller Jr. He had 7 tackles, 5 solo. Land had 2 tackles, 1 sack, and a tackle for loss, all in limited minutes because you have to play like go 3 deep on the depth chart because they have so many players trying to highlight. So shout out to the HBCU athletes showing up and showing out at the Reese's Senior Bowl. Norwood, did we miss anything? I don't think we've come to the end. I told you everything was positive at HBCU. Everything was positive at HBCU news so far. If you did get a chance, I did watch the classic on TNT with Hampton, Norfolk State, Morgan State, and Delaware State. I did watch that on TNT. Hampton, y'all gotta get it together. Can't be losing Norfolk State all the time. What's going on, man?
Yeah. Prayers for that basketball team situation.
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the HBCU News Around the Culture segment. It is now time for our basketball segment. Go get your little snack, get your little drinky drink, some water. Get ready because it's about to be a lot of fighting and pettiness and jokes.
Now, since you've made it to this portion in the podcast, there is a reminder there will be a playlist. It will be out Wednesday. It will be 36 songs. You will enjoy all 36 songs. See you then.
All 36. See y'all then. We will be right back. Take about 3-minute break, and we'll be back with the basketball.
Well, we finna change classes. Go put your books in your locker. Come right back.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our basketball segment of episode 89 of the SplashCast, the Around the League edition, Monday Night Raw. For those that are tuning in with us, we appreciate it. Got a few things we're going to talk about today. Where you want to start at, Norwood? Actually, I know where I'm going to start. We're going to be positive. I don't know if this is positive, but it's interesting.
It is.
Go ahead, get that out of the way.
I mean...
The
I was
WNBA
in hindsight at first. I was going to say surely positive, and then we will talk about why this may not be positive for the very rest of the episode. So I digress respectfully. Maybe you don't have to do everything that the men do. Men are stupid. How about that? Put that on a reel.
So there was a super team era. I don't know if there is one now in the NBA, but for a while there
Atlanta
was
Hawks.
Yeah.
Damn, we got a Hawks supportive podcast, and Fresh like, y'all ain't super nothing. Super tired of y'all.
Yeah, so the Las Vegas Aces, I wouldn't say they were a super team before this, but I wouldn't say they weren't. They've always been trying to build a super team out there. I think they had Liz Cambage before and they
when she was there, they were a super team. They were going to be a super team.
They were trying to build a super team. The super team age in the NBA has pretty much come to an end. I don't think there's really a super team out there that is really. I don't think there's a super team out there.
And let's not say that it's over. Let's say that this year there are definitely no super teams left. But I am 100% sure, especially after what transpired today, there will be some more super teaming up at the end of this year. Now,
I think Adam Silver has set up the setup to where it's very difficult to to create a super team.
Well, when we get down there, let's talk about that.
Yep. But super team era, the thing about the WNBA, when you underpay people, you have a chance to just stack up on a whole bunch of resources or a whole bunch of players because you underpay them. I mean, if you want me to be honest, I'm going to throw the shots in there. But the Las Vegas Aces signed Candace Parker. Candace Parker is one of the greatest WNBA players, greatest basketball players of all time. I think she's won at every level. She won in Chicago. She took Chicago to the championship.
Shout out to the Chicago Sky.
She also won with the LA Sparks. She now has moved on to the Las Vegas Aces, and it's funny how they have her first in this photo. I think Asia Houston is probably Asia Houston's team. I think they're the
Asia Wilson.
Jesus, Asia Houston. Asia Houston went to Hampton
Can't do
University.
that one.
Asia Houston went to Hampton University. Shout out to Asia. She sings as well. Book her.
Basketball player. You're right. I see what you did now. I was like, yeah, nah, gotcha. Makes sense.
Asia Wilson. Asia Wilson isn't she the league MVP? Finals MVP? She was rookie of the year. Like, she is like Miss Basketball since her days.
Overall, great, legendary basketball player.
To me, she may be like the Patrick Mahomes of the WNBA right now. I mean,
and if she is single, she can drop her number in my DM.
Let her post you up. She's been winning since South Carolina. She was defensive player of the year. That's what it is, Kev. Yeah. Everything. But I think that's her team. But the Las Vegas Aces have to be, or were considered, may be considered to some as the favorite to win the championship until Breanna Stewart left the Seattle Storm and signed with the New York Liberty. And I was like, Jesus, that's like opposite ends of the nation, but you have two super teams. Breanna Stewart was like MVP not too long ago.
Yeah. Is this the new equivalent of?
And that's Shankwai too.
Lakers,
She's
Celtics?
good as hell too. Lakers Celtics. No.
I mean,
it could be. You would hope so. Maybe they're trying to. I mean, they're trying to. They're definitely trying to. And they got Ledecky up there in New York too. Like, they are gonna. Also, if you're the WNBA, I don't know if you've released your schedules yet, but this got to be game one. This got to be first game. Got to be the first game. You got to change everything else.
Also, definitely a piece of trash because I used to be in love with Liz Cambage and has now faded for Asia Wilson. I'm a one-woman man. I know that.
Yeah. There was a lot of you be setting me up for jokes, dog.
Threw that right over the plate. I just
No, I will not. There is no slander. But shout out to the WNBA for creating these super teams. I also think that this will also garner a lot of attention, and grow the market that is the WNBA and women's basketball. I think this is wonderful. This is a scenario where maybe you needed super teams. Never know. Moving on, man. Moving on. Hey, so Paul Pierce is slowly becoming one of my favorite people. J.R. Smith also is hilarious and has always been one of my favorite people. Paul Pierce is known to toot his own horn, meaning he thinks he's one of the top 10 greats. He thinks he was better than LeBron, or he's better than Bron. He puts himself in the category with like Kobe and all of them. Paul Pierce, go ahead.
I don't hate it.
So,
I like the fact that he has like this consummate belief in self.
I think that's the only way that you can make it that far. I think his is just the goofy version of what Kobe had. Kobe had consummate belief in self, but used it as like anger fuel. Paul Pierce is just kind of goofy, like. But he was, I mean, at his peak, the truth was the truth. I mean, he'll tell you what he's going to do,
and also
and kick your ass.
Not the greatest athlete in the world either.
No, just 6'8", but has a lot of skill. So I mean,
he kind of like Luka body to me.
With hops, he had better hops than Luka though. You can dunk now.
Sure, that's not.
When he was younger, it's not a lot. But Paul Pierce he released a photo that said, or the Daily Loud released a photo that said, Paul Pierce wants to know who's beating this 5. Kevin Garnett at the 5. I'm assuming Jason Tatum at the 4, Paul Pierce at the 3, Jaylen Brown at the 2, Marcus Smart at the 1. Paul Pierce wants to know who's beating this 5. I'm going to repeat that again. Kevin Garnett at the 5.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum at the 4, Paul Pierce at the 3, Jaylen Brown at the 2, Marcus Smart at the 1. J.R. Smith responded and said a lot of teams.
Now, this is where it gets tricky.
No, it don't, not
Because
for me.
I 100% agree. It is a lot of teams beating them.
Yes.
But you're also looking at what you assume to be 4 Hall of Famers and a top tier defender.
You think 4? I would say right now 3, depending on what Jaylen Brown does to.
Oh yeah, I'm booking Jaylen Brown's.
Yeah, I know you are.
Hall of Fame
I know that's where you're going. I would say it's 3 with the trajectory that they're on. I think Jaylen may have to either they're gonna have to give him some more shots, or he gonna have to get his, because they're viewed as Jason Tatum's team. This is viewed as Jason Tatum's team. You could try to pull up stats.
Everybody you
could try to pull up stats and all of that. This is viewed as Jason Tatum is in the Player of the Year conversation, and Jaylen Brown is not. This is viewed as Jason Tatum's team.
But this is the thing. Most times, well, I'm not gonna say every time. Majority of times, when you go to the Hall of Fame, you go with somebody else. You got Shaq and Kobe. So just because you have a great player next to you doesn't mean that both of y'all can't go. Right now, he averages 27 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists. And I don't think he's even peaked yet.
I don't think he has either, but he's definitely.
And also, God forbid he ever get his own team.
We'll get to that. Come on down, good brother. But I agree with J.R. Smith.
Adios, Trey.
Well, this is a good team, but there's a lot of teams beating this team. A lot of teams.
Yeah,
Jordan Pippen. Jordan. You know how we feel about Jordan. Jordan, and you can pretty much put anybody. And I think he's
all those Jordan teams, you can go ahead and wipe off the map. Showtime Lakers gonna wipe you off the map. The Warriors with KD wipe you off the map.
The Cavs with LeBron. I mean,
that's where I was going next. I said LeBron got a few times. He's gonna knock y'all on out of that too.
The Heat.
You just better be like,
hey man.
You see this? You positioned your question incorrectly in order not to get played. You should say these 5 guys right here will give you hell. And I 100%.
48 minutes. Now they will guard the shit out of you for 48 minutes. This is gonna be a frustrating game.
This is hellacious defense. Is trash talk, and it's good old fashioned basketball. Mm-hmm. But they ain't unbeatable either now.
No.
You might get beat by them Shaq Magic. And by might, I say probably definitely.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Shaq Magic. I mean, Shaq Magic, for a team that didn't win a championship, the Shaq Magic could beat a lot of teams because Shaq at the Magic was so athletic. He was so Shaq was Shaq.
Shaq was Magic.
Shaq became the all-encompassing Hall of Fame player in LA. He was just the athletic freak in Orlando. He was doing stuff that Giannis is doing now, but at 100 pounds heavier. Like that's insane.
That's who Zion is. Shaq Magic, just shorter.
Yeah, he can be. He can be. He's gonna have to. He can be. You are right. He is. He's built in the mold of a Shaq playing the Shaq and Barkley put together. To me, I think he's more of a mold of Barkley.
Yeah,
Barkley's more skilled.
Him not being 300 pounds is.
And Penny would give. And I ain't gonna lie, Penny would give Marcus Smart some work now. Penny was 6'7". Penny was 6'7". Marcus Smart is 6'3".
Marcus Smart ain't guarding Penny. You better put Jaylen Brown on.
Well, then who's guarding Nick Anderson? Nick Anderson at the time was a problem. Marcus Smart?
You'd probably be better off. I'd probably put Marcus Smart on him. Just because Penny was so tall.
And then you put Scott. You got to put, I'm assuming, Tatum on Scott, which means you put Paul Pierce on Horace Grant? That's barbecue chicken in the post. Penny will go to work, man.
But Paul gonna shoot that thing too. Now, I mean, unfortunately, I think that Kevin Garnett just gets dogged. Love him to death.
Yeah, Magic Shaq. Yeah, you can't go around him. You can't go through him. Kevin.
Hey, Ticket, we have the most respect for you. And I think you have the most respect for yourself. Shaquille O'Neal is the most dominant basketball player I've ever seen.
Probably, and he's in argument as being the most dominant basketball player of all time. I think the only other person that they talk about in that category is Wilt Chamberlain, because Wilt Chamberlain's his stats are just I can't fathom watching somebody average 54 points, 34 rebounds, 15 assists, 15 blocks.
Is the thing.
I can't.
And I'm gonna tell you, it's just messed up to even say. Imagine Shaq during the Wilt era.
I mean,
they wouldn't
imagine anybody in the Wilt era.
Wilt in
the Wilt era
specifically.
Wilt was Shaq in the Wilt era. That's what I'm telling you.
But also, Shaq, there would probably not be an NBA because Shaq would have ripped the rim off every one of them.
Yeah, they ain't had no breakaway rims back then, dog.
He could put a whole gym down in the 50s.
High school gym, dog. But I don't.
Yeah, that big fella there. Everywhere he go, the gym be under construction after he leave.
But Shaq in Wilt's time, I mean, I think it would just look like Wilt. To me, it would look like Wilt, and you would have like Bill Russell out there. Remember, you got Bill Russell jumped over people. Like,
I agree with all of that, but Shaq's just ability to. They have changed backboards and rims because of Shaquille O'Neal.
They changed the rules because of Wilt Chamberlain. They changed the rules.
I agree with that, but the rim was still intact when he left. Shaquille O'Neal has a tree in his backyard of all the rims and backboards he has broken. And the science of the 50s, oh, man, we're not making it to halftime with this poor rim here.
So you more talking about not skill, just him breaking backboards. I thought you meant like him in the 50s.
No, not on the skill. I don't think that, especially then, everybody in the NBA 5'7", boy, Shaq
would be Wilt. Shaq would have Wilt numbers if he played in Wilt time. To me,
I think that his numbers would be even higher. And I think he would probably have ended the NBA.
Sneaky says Russell ain't guard. I disagree, I disagree, Sneaky. I think Russell would try to guard Shaq. I don't know if he could stop him, but I think he would try to like tire him out and outrun him and all that. That's the problem though. Orlando Shaq don't get tired. Orlando Shaq just outran you. So that would be the problem. But to answer that, J.R. Smith is correct. A lot of teams would beat y'all. Moving on real quick before we get to the fights. Stephen Curry supposed to miss multiple weeks with a sprain, tear of some cartilage and ligaments and a whole bunch of stuff. Actually, they said more than a couple weeks. They said he might be out for a while in his knee. Multiple weeks. As Atlanta Hawks fans, when a team says we'll be reevaluated in a few weeks, means you got to add 2 to 3 weeks after that. Stephen Curry will be reevaluated. If they assessing
at 4 weeks, expect 8. You're lucky if you get 6.
Steph Curry will be reevaluated in 2 to 4 weeks, which is.
And if they say PRP injection, it's over. Next season.
Yeah, go and get you another season. Steph Curry.
Well, we was getting them PRPs and they turned to DNPs. Did not play ever again.
But prayer T's a piece of Steph Curry, man. It was an ugly injury. Somebody fell into the outside of his left knee, and he limped off the court and didn't come back. It looks like he won't be back for a while, man. And they are, I think, right in the play-in, if I'm not mistaken. So this is a big run, big time for them. So
hey, Jordan Poole, you just got paid, right? Earn your money.
Yep. Let's talk about why James Harden should have made the All-Star game.
Because he's an All-Star.
James Harden. No, he made the All-Star game. Didn't he make the All-Star?
Snubbed.
Oh, I can't believe that. James Harden. Doc Rivers has asked James Harden to basically take a step back as a scorer and get everybody else involved. And James Harden is doing that. I wouldn't say he's averaging like the typical dominant all-around player averages like 30 or 28, 8 and 7 or 27, 7 and 7, something like that. He's averaging some wild numbers. And he was left off. Joel Embiid is having, I wouldn't say a career year, because every year that we say he's having a career year, the next year he has a career year. He's just having another stellar year. And Joel Embiid said, as a playmaker, I don't think there's anybody in the league as far as getting guys wide open. shots and running our offense are better than James Harden. And that's the truth. James Harden is doing what we want Trae Young to do. Set him up. Go ahead and hit it out the park so you can get angry.
No. I mean, for me, it's wild that I'm the guy who I think I'm one of the bigger James Harden supporters. When everybody said he fell off because he got fat, I was like,
oh, yeah, you talking about
nah, it's a lot of people who really, when he left Houston, a lot of people said he was fat and out of shape and would never recover. And then I would always ask him, explain to me when he fell off.
Half of that was true. He was out of shape. He was big and out of shape.
He still was cooking.
Yeah, but he was still big and out of shape. That half of that was true. Not saying that he wasn't gonna be able to come back that might have been hasty. It
was stupid because there's not even a point where you can be like, oh man, he didn't play good. He didn't play a lot because he was unhappy with his situation, which clearly all of this was Kyrie's fault. And by way of it being Kyrie's fault, this is all Kevin Durant's fault. I'm so happy we're going to talk about this today. This will be
But cathartic. I mean, he did that in Houston, though. He did that in Houston, too, though. He when he got fed up in Houston, he stopped working out. That's how he would force his way out. He would show up bigger, heavier than what he was supposed to be, out of shape. He did the same thing, and when he did it in Brooklyn, he did the same thing, too. And now he's in Philly, a place that he likes. He's in shape, and he's back to cooking. I don't
think he ever stopped cooking. He just stopped eating.
Okay, well, he stopped eating.
It's a bar there.
Don't stop cooking, just stop eating. Woo! But yeah, man, shout out to James Harden and the 76ers, man. I can't believe he was snubbed. I can't believe that he was snubbed, to be honest.
I can, but because people are humans.
I don't even know where that is on the list. But what else we got before we get to these fights? Coach Rondo is going back to Kentucky to work on the coaching
I told y'all
staff in
first.
2023, 2024. What do you mean you told us first? Oh, because you called him Coach Rondo.
The thing is, he's been wasted. I mean, well, in hindsight, it's the end of your career. You just stealing money, do it. But Rondo should have been coaching about 5 years ago.
Well, I mean,
you've damn near been in the NBA by now, Rondo. You could have been back.
The bag, they were still paying him. So if they're gonna pay me more to sit on the bench, then I can still pseudo coach and get paid. That's just double dipping.
I am as many jokes as I've made about Coach Rondo. I do think that he's going to be an excellent coach. The thing that does concern me about him is his attitude. He is notorious for being confrontational, for having a relatively short fuse. And I do think that he knows a lot, but people think that he knows that. People think that he thinks that he knows everything.
He's a know-it-all. They think he's a know-it-all. Yeah.
I'm okay with that, man. To watch him play basketball and jump into that team with adults and gain their respect almost immediately from guys who don't give respect very often. I have the most respect for him, and I want to see more of this. But these are the type of guys who have played in the NBA who I want to see. Give them a chance to coach.
Yeah. There's what I do like about this generation, our generation, the generation behind us. There's a lot of challenging of the gatekeeping. There's no more only a certain demographic, only a certain player that was viewed as a smart player. Back then. And when I say back then, I hate to say it, but I mean Rondo played in what 08. 07, 06, 05. He was a Kentucky 05 back then, and even in the 90s and in the 80s, they said that black athletes weren't smart enough, and they were just overly athletic and talented, but they didn't have the smarts to run a team. And so the less athletically inclined, the Anglo-Saxons, were always dubbed as being smart, right? Smarter than this. It goes back to like Duke versus Arkansas. When Arkansas beat Duke with Nolan Richardson for the national championship. And Arkansas was clearly, they were good. They were better. And everybody picked Duke because they're smarter basketball team. Same thing. So the fact that why did I bring all that? The fact that now the gatekeeping is gone and you're allowing these players, former players, to go back and become coaches, especially from our generation, is fulfilling for me to see. So shout out to Coach Rondo, man. And shout out to Norwood for giving him Coach Rondo. I think we should get some type of Hawks placard with Coach Rondo on there.
I mean, that's what he was doing for us, coach. Wasn't playing.
We weren't bad either when he was here. Ain't gonna lie to you. Now, ain't gonna lie to you.
Oh, people who could join. I mean, we think that Nate's probably gonna be out of there. Rondo, you want to be on the staff, bro? Let us know.
Let's get to the troll part of if y'all remember, Tyrese Halliburton is having one of the best years of his career. Oh, we gonna get there too. The best year of the career. He is an all-star. I think he's second in the league in assists or first in the league in assists. He's shooting like 50% from the field, 45% from three. He's playing out of this world. Has the Pacers at 6th or 7th in the standings. If you remember,
one of the most mutually beneficial trades I've seen in a very, very long time.
From the Kings for Domantas Sabonis. I mean, everybody won so far. Wally Szczerbiak went on TV and said that, the wannabe all-star, he's not an all-star yet, the wannabe all-star, he shouldn't be taking these shots. He was just very, very overly critical. And a lot of people shot at Wally Szczerbiak for that. Tyrese Halliburton didn't say anything, really. He said, that's his opinion. I'm going to do what I do. I haven't really, his shot was, I haven't heard of him. Well, the moment he was announced as an all-star, he changed his Twitter profile pic to Wally Szczerbiak from when he criticized him. Genius move to me. I would have put wannabe all-star and then crossed out wannabe.
Wait, is this his third season? In this Halliburton's third season?
Second or third, yeah.
Funny story. Wally Szczerbiak was his only all-star, was his third season. So it looks like y'all on pace.
I've had a better career than you in 3 years. Is what you really think.
No. I'm not going to say that because Wally Szczerbiak was an all-star in his third year too. But you look at both of them, and Wally Szczerbiak was also drafted 6th, so it's not like he was a chump. Halliburton gonna have a better career than you, big dog.
By next year. Let me tell you something. You ain't gonna have to wait long to make that comparison. That's gonna be next year. Matter of fact, it's gonna be this year. As soon as he get all NBA something, it's gonna be, I guess is it.
And Wally Szczerbiak, I haven't looked at your stats because I do have some respect for you. I for some reason don't think that your stats and his stats are gonna look anything the same.
They don't look the same now, and I ain't even got to look it up. Riley Szczerbiak. See? I tell you that.
They're going to be bad.
Riley Szczerbiak was drafted in 1999. I'm going to look at the now. I'm looking up the 1998 draft. 99 draft.
14, 4, and 2.5. Bro.
His draft wasn't bad. Dang. Wally Szczerbiak draft wasn't bad. Elton Brand was 1, Steve Francis was 2, Baron Davis was 3, Lamar Odom was 4, Wally was 6, Richard Hamilton was 7, Sean Marion
not bad.
was
9. It's a good draft.
Jason Terry was 10, Metta World Peace 16, Karolinko 24, Jonathan Bender. Wow, I remember him. This draft was full of a lot of role players.
But
this draft was
Wally, you only averaged 20. 20 was your peak. Now it's for one season. Everything after that was like 17. Hey, buddy. Halliburton is going to be better than you.
Manu Ginobili. Yeah, there's no number one drafted out of this. Maybe Elton Brand. Maybe he was the one. Maybe. But there's no number one option that was drafted in that draft. Not one. That draft was okay.
Hold on. Elton was good.
Lamar
Odom was a monster.
Lamar Odom was pretty good. Yeah, I mean he was better when he got with the Lakers. But I mean he was they were all role players except for maybe Elton Brand. Everybody else was role player.
Ron Artest,
role player. Except for maybe you could say the Houston, that them years when he played Kobe in Houston. I think he was the main guy, I think. Well, most of the time, Ron Artest was a role player. Very good. He's a role player.
But his role was fundamental to the team's success.
That's what a role player is. I mean, that's what a role player is. Their role is fundamental to the team's success. Draymond's role is fundamental to the team's success. He's not the star. He's not the number one option. And sneaky, I disagree. In this lottery, Wally was definitely the worst pick in the lottery all time. It's Bennett, Anthony Bennett, number one to the Cavs. It's just inexcusable.
Congratulations on the Cavaliers. Excellent player development. But yeah, Wally's Zerbiak, you're an idiot.
But shout out to Tyrese Halliburton, man. Congratulations again, making the All-Star team, and success helps you. Success helps. Speaking of trolling, let's get to Norwood's favorite person. Let me go ahead and turn this up real quick. Norwood's favorite person, Trey Young.
One of a kind.
Now, Norwood, why do you think Trey Young is trolling you with the Adidas sportswear? Why do you think he's trolling you?
Do you.
Sometimes you gotta do it.
Always do. One of a kind.
There is nobody who does more of themselves than Trey Young.
I don't get it. Why? Because he says sometimes you just gotta do you.
Yes, and that's all he does on the court is him.
Oh, you just mad. Okay,
I
understand.
You really have the audacity. And then you started your commercial with yourself 2 more times.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't write the commercial.
Legendary teammate, Trey Young.
I think he's just whatever. It is what it is. I don't see nothing wrong with it. I just think you don't like him. But we gonna see. We gonna see. What Charles
we gonna see Jaylen Brown.
I said, yo, man, we ain't gonna give you flowers until you win one without Dwayne.
Oh, so Charles Barkley, he went on all the smoke. Last week we talked about when he was talking about No, he wasn't talking about championships. Yeah, he was talking about championships. He said, I don't belong at that table, Trent Dilfer. I don't belong at that table because I haven't won. So he said, I don't really comment on it. That's a table that I can't have. Chuck has also been openly critical of Kevin Durant, saying that you are good, but you were never the bus driver, and you will not be validated as a leader, as a leader until you lead a team to a win. Now, I disagree that he's a role player. He was not a role player because he was the best player on that team. He was the go-to guy on that team.
So Steph was a role player
on that team, yeah. If you want to
greatest shooter of all time.
If you want to call it that, yeah. At that point, Kevin Durant. If you want to call it that, yes.
So I got one more for you before we leave this. Shaq and Kobe, who was the role player?
Oh, Kobe. Kobe was the role player, and he didn't want to be no more, which is why he blew it up and got Shaq out of there. That was easy.
Okay.
That was easy. But anyway, let's listen to what Chuck has to say about KD.
I said, you joined them and y'all won. And he says, I had to win one without Dwayne. That's like, yeah, those are the rules. And you can get mad when guys say it, but those are the rules. It's like my rules. Hey, I'm in the Hall of Fame, but I'm in a different wing than the guys who won the championship. I mean,
still in the Hall of Fame.
I know, but I'm saying though, Jack, hey, I understand. I understand the rules. Like Charles are great, Karl Malone's great, Patrick Ewing's great. They're not at the table with Magic, Bird, LeBron, Kobe. It's levels to this shit. And I ain't mad at that. I understand that. Now, if I could have won a championship, I can go across the room. But the rules are the rules. We have to play by the rules. And this ain't got nothing with motherfuckers on TV who get paid to talk shit. We talking about players.
Right.
We talking about players. We understand hey, I'm not at the table with Bird and Magic and those guys. Hey, am I a great player? Yes, I am. I understand that.
So my reason for bringing this up is, who are those guys in the NBA right now
That what?
that are at that table?
With Chuck and Bird? I mean, not with Chuck, with Larry. Which table are you talking about?
The Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson table.
Oh, LeBron, Steph. LeBron, Steph. About it, ain't it? That's about it, ain't it? Who has won? Who else has won a championship? Who else is? I guess that's the better question. Who else has won a championship?
So, where does Clay end up in all of this?
Whatever table Scottie Pippen is sitting at. Do you put Scottie Pippen at the same table with Bird, Jordan, and Kobe? So you put yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it ain't no way you can't not put Scottie in the same. I mean, he got them same championships.
Yeah, you got it. I mean,
I
whatever.
Think
so there's like Bird and
I
mean, because he's the Batman duo. No, I mean that's the duo. Like most duos make it, right? Most duos make it. I mean,
I think we all understand Clay is a Hall of Famer. If y'all haven't figured that out,
well, I mean, it made it to that table. Like there's Bird and McHale.
Oh yeah.
There's Shaq and Kobe. There's Jordan, Pippen. The teams that don't have like a dynamic duo are the ones that you probably don't put a lot of people to that table with. Like, how many people are at that table from the Bad Boys Pistons? Is it all of them?
I think that I'm putting Joe Dumars, Isaiah Thomas.
You gotta put Rodman.
You know what?
Gotta put Rodman.
So that's where. So I think that Rodman and Draymond kind of sit at the same table too. Much as you probably won't like it.
No, they're really good role players who played their role to perfection.
Rodman, Draymond, and like a Bill Laimbeer type of person.
Bill Laimbeer.
That ain't sitting right. Ain't sitting right with you.
He ain't really do nothing but fight.
Oh, you're Gasol.
Horace Grant type place.
I don't know if Horace Grant won enough championships for that.
Won 3.
Oh, you're right. Yes, correct.
More than the Pistons we talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
But to
That's
get
where
back
it
to
gets
the question,
more interesting. Not your top tier guys, but your second to third tier guys and how they space out. That's where I really, because like Klay Thompson, he's never gonna get nearly enough credit as he deserved. But
shit, he's regarded as the second best shooter of all time to your teammate. That's a lot of credit. And he was guarded at the time before he tore his knee as the best two-way player in the league. He was guarded as the best two-way player in the league.
Nah, hell no.
Nah, he was top 5 best two-way player in the league because he had Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, thank you.
He had Kawhi Leonard, LeBron
James.
Yeah, but
I'm not the biggest LeBron.
Well. When the Warriors won, LeBron was not regarded.
I do not care about anything that the Warriors have ever done. To give them a ton of respect, but Klay Thompson, you have never been a better two-way player than LeBron James, and I think that's fair. That's okay, bro.
I would say career-wise, no, but them couple years that they won the championships, I mean, that's an argument that you could have. That's an argument that you could have for another day, because there's also the argument that the Warriors, the first championship, never played a starting point guard all the way to the finals. So there's that too.
Hey, you better cue up that Justin Timberlake and Cry Me a River. I do not care.
But Chuck's right, man. And unfortunately, with KD, because of all this stuff that's happening that we'll get to, you may get that stigma for a long time. I think unless he goes to, there's really nowhere that he can go. His best bet to get off that list, or get on that list that Charles is talking about, is to stay in Brooklyn and allow them to build the team around him. But why would you do that? He wouldn't, but you'd be joining Devin Booker. You know what I mean? That would be, LeBron is off of that list with Chuck because LeBron went back to Cleveland and won with Cleveland, right? LeBron would be on that same list with Kevin Durant if he just won in Miami.
My thing with that is if you're joining up with somebody who has never won anything and you get them to a championship, then y'all joined up with me. I had a car, but I was the gas.
You can say that. That's definitely an argument.
That's a very opinionated. That's going to be an opinion decision. However you feel about that is how you feel about it. There's no right or wrong answer to that. That's fair.
That's what I'm saying. That's a good point. I mean, you could say that, or you could say LeBron couldn't win without Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh at the time until he went to Cleveland. But that was always a stigma. The same criticism that KD's getting, LeBron got, right? I mean, it's the same. He got all of that till he went at Cleveland. So, I get it. Let's talk about Donovan Mitchell. Fight number one. Brooks.
Round one, fight.
Oh man, you got the same link. Brooks versus Spida. This is, if y'all that don't know, I think we talked about it on Saturday Morning Live. Did we talk about it Saturday Morning Live? Anyway,
maybe a little bit.
Dylan Brooks and Donovan Mitchell got into a heated discussion.
Discussion?
Fisticuffs were thrown. Bodies were slammed.
Dylan Brooks. Let me tell y'all what happened. Dylan Brooks went to the floor. Spida was out of bounds. Dylan Brooks rolls over, throws his arm into Spida Mitchell's midsection. We call that the family jewels. Spida Mitchell took offense to that, as any man should and would. And then from there, he did the absolute right thing and tried to put his hands and feet all over Dylan Brooks.
Yeah, he did.
I don't have an issue with this. I don't think that the NBA had an issue with it because I don't think that they even suspended Spida for this.
No, he didn't. Spida did not get suspended. I have the fight here, ladies and gentlemen. I'll play it while Norwood talks. So here's the fight. Dylan Brooks goes up, gets blocked.
This is him on the ground.
Oh my God! Bow! Hits him in the nuts, and he did not even. Wasn't even no hesitation.
Threw him down.
Then he threw him down. There was no hesitation in that. Here's another angle. See, he rolls over. Oh my God! And hits him in the nuts. Donovan Mitchell did not hesitate. Threw the ball at him and then threw him down on the ground immediately. So, Dylan Brooks was suspended a game and kicked out of the game. And this is what Donovan Mitchell had to say when it came to discussing what happened.
We've seen it a bunch in this league with him. Him and I have had our personal battles for years. Quite frankly, I've been busting his ass for years. Playoffs, regular season. In the one game he does a high job on me today. He decides to do something like that, and there's no place in that in the game, and you got to protect yourself at the end of the day. But this has been brewing for years. With me, with other guys in the league, and you all see it. It's not something that this isn't new. And tonight was just the end of it, but it's tough when you can't guard somebody and can't do something with somebody. You got to resort to that, and that's what he's done to a lot of players. Off the top of my head, I think it's like Dame and Steph. It's just one of those things. That's what you resort to, and that's cool. But I'm glad my guys held it down tonight and had my back. Throughout the whole thing.
Sneaky by Donovan Mitchell. First off, I didn't know that he didn't like him for a while. I didn't know that. I didn't know that there was smoke here. Now that could be attributed to he plays in Utah on the West Coast in time, or the fact that I just really am not interested in really any Utah basketball still. So I didn't really watch a lot of Donovan Mitchell when they played Memphis, unless it was like the primetime game on TNT or ESPN or NBA TV. But apparently he's hated Dylan Brooks for a while, and the way that Donovan Mitchell is talking, a lot of people hate Dylan Brooks.
This is a sucker move. It's the suckerest of moves. We've all played sports before. It's always that one guy out there will do something like this and try to hit you in the balls. Anytime that this is a person's first reaction, it makes me feel really weird about, like, how is that your go-to move? Like, where did you learn that from?
In the fight quickly? That's all they trying to learn. Well, that wasn't a go-to move, like, in terms of fighting. That was just trying to piss you off. That was a cheap
in the
shot.
Middle of a basketball game. You think that your answer is try to hit me in the? Come on, bro. That's your mind's that's weirdo behavior as far as I'm concerned.
It's weirdo behavior because you did it while he wasn't expecting it. Like that's you.
Wait, there's a time period where you expect it.
There's a reach. You can't talk a lot of trash and be all upset. What? Huh?
There's a reach.
Well, this. You were just talking about Shannon Sharp, the pedestrian, and saying that he shouldn't have done that and blase, blah. All y'all went over to talk to him. As a team, y'all was talking noise, all this other stuff. Y'all supposed to be this tough, rough and tough team. And we'll get to Ja next. Y'all supposed to be this rough and tough team. How you gonna sucker punch a man in the nuts? Like, if you're supposed to be that dude who can fight and all that stuff, you lucky he ain't stomp you out. You lucky that you hit him hard enough that he had to fall and like catch himself. Cause he was going if I wouldn't have minded if Donovan Mitchell stomped you out. Stomped you out. Should have just stomped him out.
First of all, I immediately think you're a low value man if you think that if your go-to punch to hit somebody in the nuts.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, bro, who raised you to think that was okay? And you know what? Anytime that a person uses something, it's something that they know works the majority of the time for them. What's most successful for them, which means you have a long history of hitting people in the nuts.
Nah, he's not.
And you got to get away from him.
I mean, you had Chris Paul's done it. Of course, you know your boy from from Milwaukee that everybody hates. Grayson Allen trips his people in the nuts. All that.
I know this ain't really well. This definitely is not on there. They had the nerve to talk about Grayson Allen to the Hawks. I was like, well, I'll trade my fandom if they sign Grayson.
Yeah. I'll officially be a expansion team. Let's go Las Vegas LeBrons. Whatever y'all want to call them.
This was gonna be too Vegas LeBrons.
Yeah. But speaking
the
of
Vegas chosen ones.
Yeah, the Vegas ones. They already got the aces. The Vegas ones. There you go. We should trademark that real fast, shouldn't we?
Las Vegas has strippers. What do strippers like?
Ones. Woo!
It's good, baby. That's good money right there.
Oh, man. Oh, here we go.
Marketing firm. We can do anything. Anytime
you want to relate Las Vegas to basketball, the ones to strippers, we got you. We can make it all work. Speaking of the Grizzlies have been known to talk a lot of noise and say all of this stuff. Since Ja Morant said, I'm fine in the West, the Grizzlies are 7-8 against Western Conference teams with losses to the Warriors twice, the Suns twice, once without Devin Booker, the Lakers, the Kings, the Timberwolves, and the Blazers. You pissed a lot of people off.
Hey, click that link and let them see it. Let it soak in for them.
Around the league as you're studying and say, we're going to have to run through them.
Celtics.
No one in the West.
Nah, I'm fine in the West.
Great journalism, because she definitely set you up when she said nobody in the West.
Boy.
Line and sinker.
You played yourself.
Yeah, you played yourself. I always forget her name. Malika Andrews. Baited you. Said you good in the West.
Who do you look at around the league?
First round, but unable to get it to fall this time. And Golden State wins it 1-7.
So this is them showing.
You're right, John.
That was last year.
You are right. We read your lips. And you are correct.
Oh, man. So the Grizzlies got to get off the schneid, man. I don't know I don't know what they're gonna do. That was Mr.
They need to do less of this.
If you ever see me fighting in the forest with a grizzly bear, help the bear.
And then the Memphis Grizzlies have lost 8 of their last 9 games, only beating the Tyrese Halliburton-less Indiana Pacers. They lost to the Lakers.
That's why sometimes you just gotta shut up.
Shut the fuck. Oh, I thought she was gonna lean into the STFU with me, but sometimes you just gotta shut up. Sometimes you just gotta shut up.
We missed the alley. We'll run this play again later. But yeah, this is what you get, and you haven't won anything. You low key a sham god. You shamming us into believing that you are somebody who you're not. And at this point, real recognize real, and you looking real unfamiliar, my friend.
You know, the dancing coming out of the tunnel and playing dirty with Dylan Brooks.
Look,
you guys,
you know who you're looking like? You're looking like Cam Newton, front running.
You guys gotta. You're the number. You already had a bullseye on your chest and on your back because you were the number 2 seed last year, and you brought literally everybody back. I don't think they lost. They lost Slow-Mo. That's the only person they lost, Kyle Anderson. And I think they traded him last year. You brought everybody back, and for you to go out there and then say that I'm not worried about anybody in the West, in the same West that you haven't won yet. Remember, you ain't won the West yet. You still got to see them people. That's tough. That's adding the bull. That's adding.
I got somebody who you can worry about.
So, you know, them being bullies. So of course there was another confrontation between Ja Morant or T Morant and Andrew Nembhard from the Indiana Pacers. Basically, if I'm not mistaken, T Morant told Ja that Nembhard told him to shut up. T Morant told Ja that Nembhard told him to shut up, and then Ja went and said I had to check his temperature and he didn't have a fever now.
Whatever you want to call it in the third quarter, and then did that energize you at all?
For sure. Just guys, you know, they was talking early, and you know, when I went over there, I don't know how to pronounce it, Andrew told my pops to shut up, and then pretty much I heard my pops like ask him, did he say shut up? So I was trying to figure out who he was talking to, and obviously I seen it was him, so I approached him, like, you know, seeing what he was on. Checked his temperature. He ain't have a fever.
So these bars would hit a little bit better if you were winning a bunch of games.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Is that bar? That's a bar. It's a Drake bar. We will hear more of those today, but that's a Drake bar for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, why? You're right. You can't say that when you lost 8 of. You can say that because it has nothing to do with basketball. You lost 8 or 9.
Yes.
But y'all trying to be the tough guy, and then I mean, this happened before your man's got slammed. So I mean, at the time they was the tough. They were still acting like the tough guys, and it's not like they're they're 9th. They're like 3rd or 4th in the West, right? 3rd, 2nd. So
yes, 2nd, correct.
So I mean, they're good, but I mean they are living into they are leaning into this persona of them being the villain. And he said I checked his temperature and he didn't have a fever. Yeah, I mean, that's funny.
It's the Pacers too, bro.
I mean, come on now. You trying to be the tough guy.
Hey, when the Celtics come to town, do that then.
Yeah,
bro.
Check that temperature with Marcus Smart and see what's going on. You know what I mean? Don't check it on Andrew Nembhard. Come on, bro. And T Morant.
Stop telling. You need to stop telling, bro.
T Morant.
First of all,
yeah, you want to make yourself part of the game so bad. You want to be that guy. You can be cool. Don't little brother yourself, man. Don't talk a lot of noise, and then when somebody tell you to shut up, you go get your big brother. Don't go get Ja.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you talking noise and you saying something, stand on it. Y'all supposed to be tough. Stand on it. It is what it is. Ja don't need to come over there and fight your battles all the time. You a grown man too.
And T, you starting to be in the news and on TV too much for me. I ain't gonna tell another grown man what to do, but I'm noticing you.
Yeah.
And last time I checked,
a lot more than Ja too.
You don't play in the NBA. What we thought LeVar Ball was gonna be.
Yeah, they got LeVar out of there. He figured it out. They got him to be quiet. And T, you might be cruising for the same thing now. Now, if he didn't say anything disrespectful, then Nebhard, you were wrong. But you can't, as Reggie Miller said with Spike Lee, don't insert yourself into these lines and then get mad when I respond. Don't do that, because there's a lot of trash talking. There's a lot of trash talking in basketball, in sports, period. Amongst the best. It's the best of the best.
And a fight come with that.
And now you trying to fight people that are bigger, stronger, faster, and everything. Now, with the fights, though, again, Ja, be mindful of the company you keep. Something that has now we don't know how much of this is true. We just know that the Pacers staffers were rolled up on by Ja Morant, by Ja Morant's friends, and allegedly Ja Morant was in the car, and they pointed lasers at the Pacers staff, and the Pacers staff thought it was lasers connected to a gun. The league investigated the incident in which Pacers staff believes someone associated with Ja Morant pointed a gun at them in the FedEx Forum parking lot. The group, according to The Athletic, allegedly trained a red laser on the Pacers staff from a slow-moving SUV. Morant was reportedly in the SUV, and the Pacers staffers and additional security believe the laser was attached to a gun, though it's unclear who was controlling it. We felt like we were in grave danger.
And apparently the other part is one of his homeboys is banned from FedEx.
The one that got escorted out, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so for me,
this is a bad look, man.
There's not any space in the game of basketball. I mean, that's kind of one of the running jokes. As much as we love basketball, and let's be very clear, we love basketball. Basketball players, for the most part, are not very tough. And
y'all criticized Lonzo when he said it too. Y'all criticized Lonzo when he said it.
Yeah.
You guys ain't fighting for real.
No, not a chance. Nobody want to fight. So now this is an escalation that don't ruin your money.
You already got it.
There is no. Yeah, and he's on pace to make a ton more.
Mm-hmm.
Don't trick yourself off. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna go into a long bashing about this, but you gotta move better than that, bro.
Be careful and mindful of the company you keep. I understand you got homeboys. Hey man, if you need somebody to go talk to about homeboys, talk to Ray Lewis. Like, you got homeboys, but homeboys can get you in trouble. Sometimes a clean cut is the best thing for both, or just keep them at home. Give them something to do. If they're gonna jeopardize
even if you were like in that type of movement, you wouldn't do it sloppily like that. That's the reason that is amateur. Is the people who really move like that? They don't do it the way you did.
You would have never known that it was them.
Exactly.
You would have never known it. That you're right. I didn't even think about it from that angle like that. You don't seem like you about that life because you too sloppy with it. You ain't even thought this through. You too emotional. Can't be emotional. You're gonna be about that life. Speaking about that life and emotions.
We don't support that life. We support everything that's not that specific life. That life is the furthest life thing. This.
But this life, though, on the court.
About that life too.
This life on the court, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, so Mo Bamba, this is the most unlikely fight that I never thought I would see this fight. Never thought I would see it. Mo Bamba and Austin Rivers. Austin Rivers with the bitch slap. Jalen Suggs comes with the tackle. The blind side takedown.
The sling down.
It's a blind slide takedown. The melee.
If you see this play, I want you to understand this is how my high school career went as far as me tackling people.
Oh, you were one of those guys?
That's a Norwood tackle right there. Hey, Did it work?
Get your shoulder on the other side. No.
You get him up off the ground. How about that?
So
That's
apparently,
all I'm doing,
Mo Bamba says something to Austin Rivers. It still has not been revealed what he actually said, but they got into it. Austin Rivers rolled up to the whole Magic bench and said, "What's up?" The whole Magic bench. He rolled up to the whole bench and said, "Y'all ain't about nothing." Rudy Gobert, you 7'4", and you can't. Jonathan Isaac, 2 days back from a broken whole lower body. Jonathan Isaac is 2 days back from a whole broken body and is in the middle of the fracas trying to separate everything. Rudy Gobert, 7'4", and ain't doing nothing. But Austin Rivers.
Not that light skin.
Austin Rivers has developed that reputation.
Boy, that was silent shade, boy. For all you people who are listening to the podcast, I need you to write down this timestamp right now. Find YouTube and just go listen to it. Reggie took a shot without saying anything. Austin Rivers. These are two players that I actually both enjoy. Of course, I like all the crazy people. So Austin Rivers, how he got all the way to their bench is beyond me. I like crazy people, so I respect it. You walked up on their entire team mid-game, and whatever he said to you on this play that Reggie has up there definitely gave you all the smoke, because you clearly had something that you needed to get off to that man, and you communicated with him immediately.
I don't know. Like I said, we don't know what was said. We don't know what was said. But
that's the one friend who got into the fight, and y'all are on the other side of. Bro, how did you get it? You got into it with somebody and didn't tell us first? You just went right into get into it.
Talk about Austin Rivers? Yeah. But again, like I said, it was something that was said on the bench, because Mo Bamba, these are two separate photos. So that's Mo Bamba's face. When whatever he said to Austin Rivers, that was his face. And this was Markelle Fultz's face afterwards. Markelle Fultz was like, "Whoa, you said that?" And the next thing we know, it's fisticuffs flying. This happened. This is like literally 30 seconds later.
Markelle Fultz's face is everything. Excuse me, say what?
You did what? You said what? And Mo Bamba like,
you heard
yeah.
what he said? That's me. That is always me right there.
Whatever it was set Austin Rivers off, because 30 seconds later, this was the scene. And they were going at it. And Mo Bamba was ready to, like, Mo Bamba had the fist cocked, ready to go. But
we'll give you this one. We'll give you this one. And he
But then, of course, Austin Rivers got tackled. But like you said, I don't understand what Austin, like, he threw a punch though, but Jalen Suggs just was like, "Nah, get on the ground." And then Mo, nobody sees that shove that got Taurean Prince pissed off. Mo Bamba shoved the shit out of Taurean Prince.
I mean, Mo Bamba arms are 8 feet long. You actually wrestling with Dawzim. Are you crazy?
Boy, they going there. Look at Jared Van. I mean, it's a whole bunch of people. So then Austin, like, this is still funny to me. I would like to make this the album art if you want me to be honest. But
I wish it was clearer. I would definitely.
But at the end, Mo Bamba released in the locker room right after the fight. You know, in the social media age, he goes and puts up the "fuck around and find out" meme. And Austin Rivers responds and says, "Buddy, I went at you 1-on-5 with no backup. You needed your teammates, otherwise you would have been choked out." But choked out.
You can't let no little light-skinned dude choke you out.
Talking about find out. We only know you from an old rap song, not hoops. Orlando is my city. Now, Austin, you should have stopped right there at "we don't know you from a rap song." Orlando is my city. Orlando ain't never been your city. Ever. Ever. You might have been. You might have been born there. You might have been born there, right? Because Coach Doc was the coach of the Magic. But that's not your city, bro. That's not Doc's city. That ain't nobody's city but Shaquille O'Neal And if you even want to go a little further, Dwight Howard. You, sir.
Maybe. I mean, you could put Vinny in there and Tracy McGrady too. But
Tracy McGrady, I would put Vinny in there. I would not put Vinny. Who?
You're right. Yeah, yes, you're right. I mean,
Vince Carter.
You're right.
No, Toronto and New Jersey are his towns. In New Jersey, not really. Toronto is his town.
Yeah. But I mean, Austin Rivers, you're just never gonna have a town. But I think he's more talking about like his home being Orlando. But I mean, who's really who's looking to win the battle of
he said Orlando is my city. Yeah, one.
Who's looking? Who?
So they're saying he went to Winter Park
Let me
High
think
School
of
in
another. I'm gonna do it. Birmingham, Alabama is my city. Nobody cares. You can have it. It is yours.
Damn, Worthy.
Have fun with
Damn, Worthy. Fairfield. Why you do that,
as soon as I
Norwood?
got ready, because I couldn't help myself.
Why you do that? But Austin Rivers, like I said, you should have stopped that. We didn't know you after a rap song. Saying Orlando is my city, ask around and actually find out they don't mess with you there. Man, they don't mess with you there. Like, come on,
San Antonio, Texas, my city. Bismarck, North Dakota.
First off,
that's my city.
I'm about to say Walt Disney owns their place. You guys are just renting space. So we saved the best for last.
Frankfort, Kentucky. That's my city.
Louisville.
You pronounced it correctly too. They get mad about that.
Yeah, they do. They said Austin Rivers not even Doc's favorite son. Damn, Doc only got one son. Like,
yo, their NBA script is out of control, yo.
So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. What you've all been waiting for. Kyrie Irving. I mean, just to talk about it. Kyrie Irving has been sent to the Dallas Mavericks in exchange for Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian. I thought it was Dorial, Finney-Smith, one first round pick and multiple second round picks. As you know, Kyrie Irving requested a trade before the trade deadline after they offered him a contract extension that he thought was disrespectful because some of the money was tied to them winning a championship, which we'll get there. As a result, people act like this was such a long time ago. This was like 18 months ago. I don't even know if it was 18 months ago. This was like 2020, the end of 2021. Kyrie, James Harden, and Kevin Durant back together. Well, not back. Kevin Durant and James Harden back together. Kyrie's the third man. And it didn't work out. Kyrie demands a trade, gets traded to Dallas. And LeBron, Lakers fans, when they saw Kyrie trade news. But before that, who do you think won this trade?
Mavericks.
Really?
Mavericks won this, yeah. So clearly the Nets had no chance to win this trade. They were negotiating from a place of weakness. And you got some players back, but what did you really get back?
Well,
DFS, okay, good. I guess. Dinwiddie is good-ish. It's not. I mean, he's the third best player on that team, on the Mavericks.
Who was number 2?
Christian Wood. Far and away to me.
No.
Yes.
Oh no, yes. Christian Wood was not better than Spencer Dinwiddie on that team. I don't think so.
I disagree.
I think Spencer Dinwiddie has never been in a position to where he's the go-to person. Every time he's the go-to person in Dallas, he averaged like 25, 5, and 5.
He's always not. He's not the go-to person. He's the person to go. And Christian, I'm telling you, in my heart of hearts, I think Mark Cuban was very smart about what he let go. He said Dorian
you can't let go of a
Finney-Smith,
big man. You can't let go of a big man.
good-ish basketball player, but not a world beater. Spencer Dinwiddie, he's not. I mean, especially at the position that he plays, he's. They just call Trey the 12th best guard. What do you think Spencer Dinwiddie is?
Well, they call Trey the 12th best guard because they was disrespectful, but
what I'm saying is Spencer ain't in that category.
No, he's not, unfortunately.
And then you got Dorian, and then you got
Finney-Smith
2027, 2029.
Yeah. Now, the part of this trade that I can tell you was a lot of hate from the Nets was the Lakers could have given you a very similar package. They could have given you 2027, and they were going to give you a 2029 first.
Thank you, Sneaky.
They'd have to
but you just have no way to get a guy as good as Kyrie.
Well, what I'm saying is, my point was the Lakers. This is why I said it was hate, and we said it was hate and they said it was hate. They could have taken a better package from the Lakers. They could have gotten
anywhere you want to go.
2027, 2029. They said we never were going to send him to LA, either one of the teams, because the Clippers offered a very aggressive package as well.
Bro, you cannot break up with me and then ask for an Uber to the next guy's house. You got, bro, I will drop you off in Bismarck, North Dakota, talking to me crazy like that.
They took the Travis Schlenk approach and was like, oh, Absolutely. You want to demand a trade? We sending you to Siberia. Not Siberia, because Luka Doncic, but we send it to a place that you don't want to go.
This is probably out of all the places that we have a trade package that we like that's not in our conference and not where you want to go. This is best of both worlds. This satisfies all of the Nets' needs. Now, the tricky part about this is if they make this work, you really, they got a little piece of a team there. Dwight Powell at the 5. Christian Wood at the 4, Tim Hardaway Jr. at the 3, Luka and Kyrie. Now you're gonna need 2 basketballs like they have in this photo for this to work, but
ain't no defense.
I think that
they ain't got no defense on the court.
Not a defensive soul on the floor.
Zero.
I think that they're also. I think this will help Luka out. Right now, I feel like Luka has to do all of the heavy lifting as far as the points, and still be the number 1 rebounder and be the number 1 facilitator. I think that he could really.
I think from a point standpoint, he probably has to average just as many points. He's gonna have to average just as many rebounds. He's gonna have to average just as many assists as he did before getting Kyrie. Maybe even have to average more because they don't have any. They don't have any defense.
You think that? You're saying that they're gonna have to score more points because they have less.
Well, they're gonna have. Well, even they lose rebounding with Finney-Smith and Kyrie. Even though, I mean, Finney-Smith is just a taller person. You lose inside presence, so you're gonna have to score more. But I mean, Kyrie is probably gonna give you 25 a night, right? You still, if Luka, for that team to flourish, you still gonna have to average 30 or whatever he's averaging. Well, I don't think anything changes. I don't think personally in this trade, I don't think anything changes on this team from a load standpoint on Luka.
I mean, Kyrie is like 25 points. Dorian and Spencer Dinwiddie together like 25 points.
No, nothing changes. You get worse defensive wise, but nothing changes. I mean, now
but the thing about this is, if this Kyrie thing doesn't work, you didn't lose 2 players that are not replaceable.
No, now the reason they're getting rid of Finney-Smith is because of the emergence of Josh Green, the 6'5" shooting guard / small forward. So he's the one, because Dorian Finney-Smith is 6'5" or 6'6" too. So he's the one that allowed for DFS to be able to be moved. And then Kyrie Irving is supposed to be able to replace or be an improvement on Spencer Dinwiddie. So I see the logic in it, but that puts a lot of onus on Green. But again, everybody else got to be spot up shooters, which they can be. Christian Wood, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Josh Green can be spot up shooters, and you have two people that can get their own shot at all times. I would like to see how this offense is going to run, though. It sounds like the best version of the Nate McMillan offense. From what I see, ain't gonna be a lot of cutting because they gonna have to pick and roll and one-on-one basketball it out with this team.
Is gonna be a funny game, and you know it already. You already know Hawks and Mavericks come with a little bit of
always
the
of
backstory.
Always gonna have a little.
So
bit of
then
spice.
Now it's gonna be you gotta leave. Yeah, Hunter, Luka, Murray, Kyrie,
Tim Hardaway Jr., Trey, John Collins on.
Oh my God! I mean, I guess you just gotta hope that Tim Hardaway Jr. doesn't have it that night, but he should have it that night.
Tim Hardaway, who's gonna guard Trey? Can't nobody guard Trey on that team.
Oh no, they could not guard Trey together. All five.
They can't guard nobody. That's what I'm saying.
All of their defensive skill set together, they still couldn't guard Trey.
That's what I'm saying. Like this
Our
team,
powers combined
I
are
don't know
not
how
enough.
much of a difference this
They're
trade makes.
inadequate.
I don't know how
We
much
are
of this
trash.
trade. I don't know how much of this Dallas is ranked what right now? Top 6. They're out of the play-in.
Yeah.
Does this really make them more of a? I mean, they did go to the Western Conference Finals last year.
So the reason you make this deal is you trying something. And I think that you knew that with Spencer Dinwiddie and DFS, there was only so much you were going to get. You could get to the playoffs and Kyrie go into like that Cavs playoffs
Kyrie
where him
mode.
and LeBron just go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a chance. And if he walks away, you just cleared cap space. You can go again and try to get somebody else. Cuban understands that he's got an asset in Luka, who is one of the top 5 basketball players in the NBA.
And quietly is kept. They were drafted in 2017, right? Or 18? 17. 18, 17. He's already signed his extension, but I think it's only a 4 or 5 year extension. 4-year extension, 5-year extension.
Yeah.
I mean, we in year 2. So you got to show Luka that I am trying my best to get you some talent. Otherwise, Luka could just be out.
I think now, and I did see that
Luka could be out in 2 years.
I did see somewhere they said Luka might have interest in Miami. Only thing about Miami is his fitness is not Miami fitness.
No, you go to Toronto. They'll allow you to be husky.
But I mean, I think that it's going to be difficult, if not impossible, to pry Luka away from Dallas. I think that Mark.
Yeah, he's gonna throw so much money that there's no way.
And don't
you're
forget
gonna be able to say no.
his idol that is Dirk. So it would take a whole lot. And Cuban likes to keep his guys, and Luka is a Cuban guy. I mean, he traded up for him, and it worked.
But I mean, you can Steve.
Hey, but if you
want to
come back to Atlanta,
to
dog,
Phoenix.
I will move that other guy out for you, bro.
He might go back to Phoenix. I mean, Steve Nash went to Phoenix. Cuban likes to keep his guys. Steve Nash went to Phoenix and had a Hall of Fame career.
Boy, could you imagine Book and Luka
and KD? Oh yeah, let's talk about that. KD, the Suns are prepared to make a substantial offer to Kevin Durant. What sucks is in that offer is 30. How old am I? 37. So that means Chris Paul is 37. 37-year-old Chris Paul. You know how much bad luck you gotta have. Chris Paul gets hurt every Western Conference Finals. Then, or when he was supposed to go to the Lakers, he gets vetoed for no reason. And now you have a chance to get Kevin Durant, who they were trying to get last year when he wanted a trade and they just didn't trade him. Now there's a possibility that the Suns could be first in line to get Kevin Durant should he request to be moved because of this Kyrie Irving nonsense. Chris Paul is included in that trade. They said they tried to offer Chris Paul for Kyrie.
I don't think that works because
what?
Nicholas Claxton.
What about Nicholas Claxton?
You can't. If I'm getting KD, I want DeAndre Ayton back.
Ayton makes $133 million over 4 years. That's $30 something million a year. Kevin Durant makes $40 million. You give me Nicholas Claxton is on his rookie deal if I'm not mistaken.
You can't play Claxton and Ayton at the same time.
So I'll give you Ayton and 2 players, and you give me Nicholas Claxton and Kevin Durant.
I'm not giving you Nicholas Claxton, who is maybe the only player that we've ever developed.
The defensive player.
And as soon as we get him, no, hell no. I'm not giving you one of the greatest basketball players of all time and a guy who might win Defensive Player of the Year for Chris Paul and anybody in Ayton.
And DeAndre Ayton?
No, I know that Ayton hates you. I'll wait. I just let you sit. I'm more willing to let people sit in misery than most people. I figured that out. I'll let you be miserable over there because eventually you're going to break.
Yeah, but you also not thinking about the bottom line. Like, they going to lose. I mean, they're looking at revenue. It's a whole bunch of stuff that they're looking at.
Oh, no, but I feel as the salaries inflate, the other thing that has to inflate is the trade package in return. These guys getting paid $300 million now. You have to send me your team if you want one of these players. I'm not playing with you. I'm not negotiating. I'm not sending you DFS and Spencer Dinwiddie for Kyrie. No.
In a 2020 and a 14-year-old and a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
2027 and a 2029 pick.
Seeing you them 2 mediocre guys and some middle schoolers, you got me messed up, bro.
Everybody thought Kyrie was going to the Lakers. LeBron just tweeted, "Maybe it's me." He tweeted that right after Kyrie got traded to the Mavericks, and he said, "Maybe it's me." Now, I don't like this tweet because he was traded. It's not like I think it's funny, but it's because Kyrie was traded. It's not like he chose to go there. But they said this is Lakers fans when they saw Kyrie trade news.
LeBron is
dramatic.
So first of all, "Maybe It's Me" is going to be another Drake lyric. I cannot wait. I woke up this morning feeling like LeBron. Maybe it's me. Oh, I cannot wait for that.
LeBron's frustrated.
But I mean, it is you. It is you. You traded away all the assets. Now you're upset because the team doesn't have assets and you can't get players. Bro, you traded away Kyle Kuzma, Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram.
There's like 13 people on that list. Josh Hart.
And now you're asking, maybe it's you. Yes. Have you not seen every place that you go, this happens?
Don't wait for it. Get in the studio, Norwood. Ghost right.
Hey, y'all do not want to hear these bars. I'm just gonna steal what these players are saying and put it in a Drake voice, and it'll be fire.
So what do the Lakers do?
Gonna help me write the song too.
What do the Lakers do?
What do you think the Lakers are gonna do to start the season? Same thing. Nothing. It's over. You got that one cloudy ass rain. And that's it.
So you saying their season is over with?
No. Did you not win? Am I the only person who knows that?
I mean, everybody's going to give LeBron James the benefit of the doubt at the end of the day.
I doubt the benefit.
We'll see. But ladies and gentlemen,
hey, bro, if you take that team to a championship, then hey, maybe Mike, You guys might have to be quiet. I ain't gonna tell you to shut the fuck up, but you have to be quiet now. Especially from where you are right now, below 500, LeBron. You want to revitalize your career and really put yourself in the conversation, being the greatest of all time.
He's already in the conversation.
But what I'm saying, I mean, he keep getting sent home this early. It's gonna be 2 years in a row, real bad.
Nah, them teams are bad. I mean, that's like the Bulls got sent home first when Michael Jordan's teams was bad.
Well, the other part is where do you see that this gets better?
Once they signed Patrick Beverly, I was like, ooh, they desperate. I was like, and Russell West. Well, it gets better because Russell
Patrick Beverly and Dennis Schroeder. It's bad. It's real bad.
Well, Russell Westbrook comes off of the books next year. That's $40 million, whatever he's getting paid. And they've actually positioned to have a lot of money next year.
That's the other part. There is the other part. The other shoe to drop is even if Kyrie plays out the season in Dallas, he could still just wait and then become a free agent and go to LA. And I think that
but he wants 4 years, $198 million. That's what he said he wants. LA was prepared to offer him 2 years, $80 million.
Well, I mean, LA, that's all well and good, but you don't get a say in this.
If LeBron wants it, LeBron gets it.
Yeah, get down or lay down. If LeBron says me and Kyrie are Lakers, y'all better shut up and hey, man, what time do we need to send the cars to pick you guys up? You're not negotiating with LeBron in his NBA. I'm laughing, but I'm very serious. It's his NBA. I'm waiting on my son, and that's gonna be the next big three: Kyrie, Bronny, and Bron.
Bron at
to be Tree Rollins player coach.
Oh man! But ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the basketball segment of the Around the League edition Monday Night Raw.
I thought you was gonna say we came to the end of the Lakers season.
You might have. I mean, the trade deadline is Thursday. The trade deadline is Thursday, so we gonna see. But
wait,
with that
hold
being
on.
said,
Before we end basketball, I also would like to let you guys know. We have a player on our team. Name is John Collins. He has been in perpetual trade talks now for 75 seasons in a row. If they do not trade him by the trade deadline this year, I will be starting a GoFundMe for his mental anguish and pain. Whatever you feel the need to donate, please donate. But this man thinks he's going to get fired from his job
every day for 3 years.
I'm 100% sure that he needs some level of counseling, guidance, and we got to help him out because the Hawks don't care about him. And even if he makes it through this season, as soon as the season over, he'll be the first person in trade talks again.
We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Football coming next. Y'all stay tuned. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our final segment of Monday Night Raw, episode 89 of the SplashCast, the Around the League edition. Thank you for everybody tuning in with us, turning up with us as we talk about HBCU news around the culture, news around basketball, news around football, as well as the pregame. You always remember, do what, Norwood?
Like, follow, subscribe, and maybe you peruse Scissor's Instagram in your free time.
Always.
Congratulations, that was a wonderful album.
Definitely. We appreciate the support, man. It is football, the end of football season. A lot of things happening. A lot of hires, a lot of fires. Where are we going to start? Let's actually start with college football first, though. College football Just a reiteration of dominance. This is all this is. It's just a reiteration of dominance. Or nope, not gonna do that. I'm gonna be humble. Reiteration of dominance from Alabama. They have the most players ever to make it. 12 Pro Bowl selections. They had 12 Pro Bowl selections in a single season. The most ever. So shout out to Alabama.
Are you sure it's a Pro Bowl or is this the Bama Alumni Association off-season meeting? I don't have an answer. I can't even hate this because it must be so cool to go to the Pro Bowl with 11 people who went to the same school as you.
And most of them were on the same team. If they're all in the same
dinner together.
If they're all on the same, like they may not have played together, right? Like Deron Payne played after Jonathan Allen. Marlon Humphrey and Minka Fitzpatrick. I'm sorry, Josh Jacobs was after Derrick Henry. Quentin Allen was after Deron Payne. Surtain was after Marlon Humphrey. But they were all on the same team together, right? Most of them were at one point or another were all on the same roster, which
you're right.
Except for CJ Mosley.
Yeah,
that is insane.
That is wow. Yeah, like we played at the same time. We were in college together.
We practiced together. You, Marlon Humphrey, were just first string. I was second string, but I was like the next up and coming dude. Like
that's wild.
That is crazy. And Georgia's just now starting to scratch the surface of what Alabama had built for the last.
Y'all are probably about 2 years away from having something very similar to this.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Maybe one.
We're getting there in terms of draft. I think no, all pro. No, we a while away. We a while away from 12 all pros. We ain't got 12 first round draft picks yet. We just but I think within the next 2 years, I think we're catching up to Bama draft wise, but we got to see the translation from college to pro from Georgia players. I think we're the first year that you're really gonna see most of those Georgia players that come off those teams be really, really good. But shout out to Bama, man. This is. We talk a lot of noise. This is football country down here, college football country. We talk a lot of shit, but Bama's been doing it.
You do something that's impressive. You can't really hate.
Yep.
It's the Pro Bowl. These are the best guys again, and it's 12 of them from one place. You got it, big dog.
Yeah, definitely, man. 12, and that's not even talking about the people that didn't make it. This just the people.
I want credit
really,
for
really
that
good.
part right there, where I said that they get it after because were they gonna be upset by that first Birmingham shot?
Yeah. Let's talk about. Let's talk about Brevin Galloway. Brevin Galloway.
Oh, that's where you're going. I did not.
Brevin Galloway plays for the Clemson Tigers, plays basketball. He actually... So, he was lifting weights and somehow tore his nuts. Or his nuts exploded. And he actually had to go have surgery for testicular torsion following a weight training session at Clemson, which is insane. So testicular torsion is when the testicle rotates. It twists the cords supplying blood to the scrotum. This may occur after vigorous activity, a minor injury. It's a minor injury or a minor injury or to the testicles or sleep.
So my stomach is hurting.
So if you think of the makeup of everything, and it went.
You
like
don't
this.
tell me what a minor injury is.
No.
Especially
It
not
could
that
be
one.
caused by a minor injury. A minor injury. This could be caused by a minor injury.
I don't know why you think a minor injury could cause this much major pain. if this happens, that's a major injury. Oh, I don't know who's writing the degree of injuries, but they may need to step into my office. Anything where this is the next step is major and the most major.
We don't have the photo. So he actually woke up from anesthesia and gave a explanation of what happened. He was lifting weights, and he looked down and he
I'm
said,
not giving you guys, get the camera out of my face.
He was on anesthesia, but he said his nuts had
hey, no, I don't know if y'all can tell, I am currently uncomfortable even thinking about this.
Yeah.
And for people to be asking him questions about this, number one, is terrible. I am happy though that he is going to get paid from this. And has signed the NIL deal. The least you could do after what I would consider probably a traumatic experience is to be able to at least be able to receive from some financial gain over the traumatizing experience you just went through.
Yeah, people gonna listen to you. They sure enough gonna listen. Does that feel comfortable to you? If it feels comfortable to you when your nuts exploded,
stop.
then it must feel comfortable to me too, because my nuts are intact.
Yes.
Now, speaking of nuts,
yes, we can go. Let's go back to Tom Brady first. First link.
What's Tom Brady? Oh, you talking about Tom Brady?
Signing the deal with Fox for $375 million.
Oh, wait. Let's wait, because I'm going to do a lot of yelling about that, because I think that they should pay Lamar for that. But before that, yeah, you'll see.
This deal is nuts, too.
13. So we covered Jaden Rashada. We said that he backed off his commitment after an NIL contract worth an unprecedented $13.85 million fell through. The deal broke down. He was supposed to get paid $250K per month as a freshman, $291K per month as a sophomore, $375K per month as a junior, and then $195K per month as a senior. I'm assuming that went down because if he's living up to what he's supposed to be, he's going to be gone after his junior year anyway. As soon as he signed the letter of intent, Florida was like, never mind. Or not Florida. Whatever booster promised him this NIL deal.
Florida, no. We ain't playing. These NIL deals ain't in lockstep with Florida. You're right. It's another quarterback we lost. I have issues with losing this as the school, but I have no issue with him walking away. You promised me my $13 million. Where's my $13 million? Now, I'm going to tell you that there is not a single way on this planet, nor any planet near and or adjacent, where you could pay me $250,000 a month and I'm going to survive and make it out of this place and make it to the
at college,
I would have got by $500,000. I would have probably done a couple months of summer school. I would be up by $1 million, and yeah, I would probably just be on my way. But and that's not me. Kids stay in school, but you promise somebody $13 million and don't have their money, they're gonna leave.
They're gonna leave, and the NCAA agreed with it, which is this. The larger picture is, or discussion is, they're going. This is going to cause people to have to regulate the NIL. It's gonna have to, because I think this is gonna happen more and more. Luckily, he's a 5-star quarterback that had a chance to go somewhere else. Imagine if he.
I think they're gonna let him out, and I think that they're gonna, you can't do this but one time. You pull this trick bag Bush League shit where you promise somebody $13 million and be like, oh, don't got the money. Okay, don't got the player. I'm out of here, my friend. I'm not playing with you.
Yeah, they're definitely out of there. He was he was out of there immediately. As soon as they said no, he said, I'm not showing up to campus. We gonna figure this out, but I'm gonna let you know where I'm not gonna be there.
And you got my valuation up to $13 million. All right, I might have to take a pay cut. I'm at 10. All right.
But I'm
That's
out.
fine.
Yep. Quickly. The University of Maryland is the only Power 5 school with a black president, athletic director, and head football coach. Shout out to the University of Maryland giving the opportunity to those to move up that are already in the Division I ranks as well, man. Shout out to them, man. That's pretty dope.
Now, I wish that they would win some games, but
they have a chance this year. They got Talia back, Tagovailoa. Clemson. This may be the first year Clemson does not reload. They always reload on defensive line. They always reload at receiver.
Every year.
Now, they do have the 5-star Kate Klubnik coming back, who took DJU's spot, but the ACC is kind of wide open. I mean, UNC, Wake Forest, and Clemson were the teams last year. Those were the teams to
beat. Trash.
So we will follow this team even more closely now, because we want Maryland to do well because they have such a black school.
Yeah, this is
black leadership.
This is the education trinity. And the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. You got the president, AD, and oh man. But that's also the ability for them to probably sit down and have private conversations and their influence, especially in Maryland. That is where you really move a mountain.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the Mid-Atlantic.
Let's get this football team up and running.
Shout out to them, man.
More. It's also nuts.
So, West Virginia recruit just committed to the University of West Virginia. He's a legacy. His name is Torrey Johnson Jr. Torrey Johnson Jr.'s father, after he committed to West Virginia, says, "From being in your mother's womb on West Virginia University's campus 17 years ago in 2006. Now you're about to be enrolled as a student athlete at the same place you were conceived." This is black dad embarrassing his son times 1,000. This was definitely thought out. It's hilarious that he said this. But I'm talking about
give me your Twitter. Give me your Twitter. Going to college, bro.
But I mean, if he's good, then he gonna be it don't matter.
Nah, this is where you and your dad had your first man-to-man conversation. You gonna take that down?
Oh no, he looked like a DB. His dad looked like a linebacker. Might be a little different.
All right, I'll steal your phone. I'll find a way.
I mean, think about it. 2006. I grabbed 2007, 2006. He was 22. That's the year above. That's Josh's year. So I mean, he knows how to use Twitter. He got Twitter when it first came out.
Clearly, he don't know how to use Twitter because of this tweet. Give me your Twitter. I mean,
that's hilarious though. You gotta be mad.
I'm offended on his behalf.
You gotta be big mad though. All right, man. All right, let's jump into this. Where do we want to start in NFL? Do we want to start with everything else that's going on with the hirings, or do we want to start with dope? There's been a lot of dope being taken. We can talk about Tom Brady since he's the most relevant. Tom Brady just signed a 10-year, $375 million contract with Fox to be a commentator, in which he will broadcast in the year 2024, starting in the year 2024, $37.5 million a year, potentially making more money than he's made in the NFL. That is insane. Ooh, sneaky. I won't point out the door. It happened, All right, Torrey Johnson Jr. go find you.
You gotta hope the dorm wasn't knocked down.
There's a joke there.
You got it. You for sure got it. I was like, let me just lay it there right there. They pick it up, they pick it up. If they don't, then wasn't for them.
Oh, man.
But
so,
yeah.
Go ahead. How you feel about
Tom
this,
Brady? I want to congratulate Tom Brady. We always highlight your boy Cliff Kingsbury as being the most, exceptional, mediocre man to ever walk the planet. Tom Brady's just the luckiest guy I've ever met. I mean, not ever met, ever seen to exist. He had basically a very normal college athlete, normal body, has flipped that into being the greatest quarterback of all time. He married a supermodel. He had a beautiful family by her and now has decided to re-up. And in his second act of his career, he's getting paid more than his first. I don't know how you'd write a better script than this one. And he's going to take a year off. And
we know what he
about to flourish.
We know what he about
to flourish.
I mean, he about to flourish.
He is about to
freshly
get
single,
in the oven,
freshly retired,
cook.
$300 and something million. And the kids are gonna be, back. Man, he
at my wife's house,
ex-wife's house.
Hey, either way, Tommy is about to live it up. Hey.
He already posted. Now, Tom, look,
and
man.
This is the issue. This is where you have to have foresight. AB, you played yourself. As you acted like you had some common sense, you could have stayed on that team, and now you and Tommy could be living the frat house life, chilling. You was already living at the house with Tom. Giselle is gone now. Or y'all can bring them to the crib. Y'all can have the time of your life. All you had to do is act like you had some sense.
But he didn't. So this is why I'm going to yell at... Tom Brady about to get paid $37.5 million to talk about football. $37.5. Tony Romo gets paid $150 million. Sean Payton is getting paid $20 million to coach. If y'all don't pay Lamar Jackson that much, obviously the money in the situation is there. Everywhere. If y'all don't pay Lamar Jackson that money, y'all don't raise the salary cap and divvy up some of this money and some of these profits from all of these TV deals to the players and pay Lamar Jackson what he's worth, y'all better shut the hell up. I don't really want to hear it. $37 million to talk about football. And let's be honest, we ain't really seen a whole lot of Tom Brady on TV. We don't know how good he is or bad. I mean, you can assume, you can try to assume, but you never know.
You're missing the overarching, larger opportunity here. AB could have been in them streets, living the good life. Yeah, my roommate, Tom Brady, possibly, just the greatest quarterback of all time. So if y'all trying to come back over to the crib and kick it, Tom will be there. We just gonna be drinking and having a good time.
Well, AD got CTE.
Now he clearly played himself from what could have been. Man, that could have been the best roommate situation you ever had in your life. Tom Brady is my roommate.
So speaking of Antonio Brown, he blames James Harrison for his alleged CTE. So remember, we told y'all CTE. We said he had CTE 4 meltdowns ago. We said he had CTE at the blonde mustache, if you remember. That's when I was like, hey.
Out of all of that, out of all the things that AB has done, and he's done a lot of things, the blonde mustache will always be top 5, not 5. That's a whole different level of audacity. Could you imagine if I dyed my mustache gold? But the other part about this,
James Harrison played like 12 years, 14 years. He said 20 years in it.
I think that AB is right.
What? You think that?
I 100% think, but for AB to remember this, One of them hits that Harrison hit him with. Got him.
You don't think it was the Vontez Burfict hit?
No. I think it's conjunction of both. You let Vontez Burfict hit you, and you let Harrison hit you. Yeah, scramble.
First off, this video looks like AB is inebriated in some way, shape, or form.
You assume that he's not?
Yeah, no, that's what I just said. He looks like
him
he's
and
inebriated.
Kanye putting on boots together.
So I think he jumped on Instagram. I think he stays in tune with everything that's said about him. And a lot of people have said it's CTE for years. And now that they're saying that he's leaning into it. Dang, I did not have the sound on. You couldn't hear that. Sorry, people. Basically, he leaned into saying that he has CTE from James Harrison. He said James Harrison had a legal helmet for 20 years, even though he only played, I think, 14. So y'all pray for AB, man. But you're right, man. AB, you could have just been chilling with Tom. Tom wouldn't have got you hit. How many of the receivers that you know Tom Brady has had where they are just like debilitated afterwards? None. He ain't never get you hit. Tom ain't never get you knocked out. Ever. Yeah, Nick. You trying to see how many years Rodney Harrison played?
No, I'm just trying to. AB, you just blew it, but yeah, prayers to him. But you could have been living the life. Tom Brady, you looking for a roommate, bro? I mean, you know it's Tom out there flourish. I got this new job. My lady didn't left. She live across the street now. Oh, Tommy finna be in these streets.
Yep, he is, man. Speaking of dope, though, a lot of dope. So I said AB was inebriated. I don't know what Arian Foster is. Arian Foster says that the NFL script writers, the NFL had a script. So let's listen real quick.
For taping, Arian was telling me about how the NFL is rigged and how every year he used to get a script.
Yeah.
Day one of training camp that would get dropped off at his locker. And you would have to, it was like week 1, you'll do this. Week 2, you're going to have a hamstring injury. Week 3, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
Week 4, you're going to get 3 touchdowns. And so then you just have to, did you memorize those before the season started? Or would you go and rehearse the script before every game?
We're really dedicated to it. So it was more so like, that's what practice was about. It was about practicing the script. Like, this is what goes on and this is what we have to do in order to,
And this referee's going to miss this call.
Yeah,
because they hate you and they love the Colts, that sort of thing.
WWF, so it's like, you know, we know what's going to happen, but you still got to put on a show.
Yeah.
What did you think when you got the script in 2016 that said your career was going to fall off a cliff when you stopped believing in God?
That was 2015.
Yeah.
It's funny, before we start
that is a hell of a troll question, which is awesome. I wish we had the NFL post of all of the rebuttals to all of this accusations that the NFL wrote the script for this.
Okay, so I did listen to the Joe Budden podcast Patreon episode today. In the episode, he actually calls Arian Foster, and Arian Foster basically explains that this is all a bit. It's all made up. But I love it because Arian Foster, people think that Arian Foster is so crazy that we all really believe this. We believe that he believed this.
Well, so if it's just a bit, then Arian Foster is leaning into the fact of his persona, how he was viewed in the NFL. That takes the humor out of this because they were killing Arian Foster for this.
Why? But but all of those were extremely funny. Every script joke that flew on the internet.
The Falcons looking at the script at the 28-3. Tom Brady looking at the script in 1999, like, yes.
Yo, the Deshaun Watson, the Josh Gordon, hell, the Atlanta Falcons.
Robert Kraft in the massage parlor, like,
was funny as hell. And I would like to personally thank Arian Foster I did not know that. I mean, hell, Donovan Mitchell was talking about the NBA script. So this is a joke we would have never gotten any other way. Great setup here. Great execution. Thank you, Arian Foster.
Thank you, Arian Foster.
Because I'm going to tell you, I have laughed multiple times until my side hurt. The only person who made me laugh harder was Trent Dilfer.
Trent. So.
I have been waiting since early this morning. I would have not worked today just so I could record my conversation.
So let's listen to what Trent Dilfer had to say about the current quarterbacks that are retiring and how he feels about them. As you can see in the caption for those watching the video, the quote is, "I love Tom Brady. I love Aaron Rodgers. It's not impressive." Here we go.
Not impressed me. It's super easy when you don't get hit as a quarterback and when you can't reroute receivers and when you can't hit guys across the middle. I love Tom Brady. I love Aaron Rodgers. I love these guys. It's not impressive. What's impressive is what they did. Modern day game.
I would, first of all, whoever those two guys who clapped.
I know that ain't who I think it is. I'm sorry.
I know that ain't who I think it is.
Who?
Yo, that I'm glad that I'm not the only person who felt that way. If any time that there is a reference to a quarterback who is the worst quarterback on a Super Bowl team, it is Trent Dilfer. He is historically regarded.
You think so?
As the least talented guy to win a Super Bowl.
It's either him or Jim McMahon, right?
Maybe Brad Johnson, I think.
Brad Johnson? Oh, for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Yes. But Trent, you're the guy I always brought. If you're having that conversation of guy who is probably the most trash to win a Super Bowl as a quarterback, you are never not invited to that conversation. You're the first invite. Your first ballot. Worst quarterback to ever win a championship. That is an accomplishment somewhere, somehow, because you did win a championship. But you are believed to be the worst quarterback to have ever done it.
So, I don't have a problem with what Trent Dilfer said. I think he's correct about...
He can't say that.
About you can't hit the quarterback, right? That's true. These stats...
You can't hit a receiver.
These stats and all of this These stats and all of this going up is because the rules have changed. This is an offensive game, similar to basketball. This is an offensive game. You're not going to have any teams averaging. If you average 17 points, that gets you fired in your first year as a head coach, like Nathaniel Hackett. You're not going to have that anymore. It's an offensive coach.
Can't hack it.
You can't get hit. He's right. Tom Brady lobbied, and it's one of the things that a lot of people hated him for. He lobbies for roughing the passer calls. He's the reason that you can't hit a quarterback in the knee because he's the one that lobbied after he got his knee hurt. Nobody else, just Tom Brady, that you can't hit the quarterback in the knee. Peyton Manning got hit so hard his jaw broke, can't hit the quarterback in the head. Drew Brees just got hit hard. Nothing was illegal about the hit that ended up letting them win the game to beat the San Francisco 49ers, one of those years that they made it to the NFC Championship games. By Navarro Bowman, just because he just got hit too hard. And Trent Dilfer's correct about that because they don't make those rules for everybody else. You know, everybody else, all these other quarterbacks that, you know, have a certain look or demographic, they'll never get all them roughing the passer calls. Tom Brady get tackled and laid down.
Aren't you fast?
No, don't matter.
I'll run.
Don't matter. I'm a quarterback. So my point is Trent Dilfer was correct. But Trent Dilfer, you can't say that.
Trent Dilfer.
You are not allowed to speak on Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. Joe Montana can come up there and say, well, you know, if I would have played in these rules, I'd have 8 championships instead of 4.
Steve Young. There are plenty of guys. There are plenty of guys who can have this conversation. You, unfortunately, are not it. And you know what? I'm not in the business of telling people they can't have a conversation. You can have whatever conversation you want to have because I believe in free speech. But we got these jokes. We're going to have so many of these jokes that you should not destroy your own self by saying something just because it's right. Some things are better left unsaid. This is one from you, Trent. But congratulations, because you have made me laugh more than any comedian has in a very long time. I laughed at this entirely. I've shown this to all of my friends who will watch it, and I plan to watch this many, many more times. Hopefully, if I'm ever having a bad day or feeling sad, I'll laugh at Trent Dilfer.
If you would have just been good, that came out wrong. That came out wrong. That came out
exactly how it was supposed to. If you were good, then this would mean something.
Yeah,
due to the fact that you're a flaming bag of garbage, nobody wants to. No, we do want to hear this, but we just want to laugh at you, not with you.
Yeah, I mean, this is like, well, I can't even say that because he has a ring. See, the having the ring thing eliminates a lot of people that you could talk a noise about when it comes to this. But
I think in this case, it's a detriment because every time that you bring up his ring, you also bring up that he sucks. It's never like, oh, Trent Dilfer, hard-nosed football player. It's Trent Dilfer. Oh, you remember the guy that was the worst quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl? That guy.
They interviewed it. They just showed, Super Bowl week. So they just showed like they're going through on NFL Network, like the Super Bowls and all of that stuff. Yeah. Those magical season documentaries, and they just showed the Ravens. They interviewed everybody, including Trent Dilfer. They talked about offense with Trent Dilfer in one interview. Everything else was talking about the defense and the defense only. Like, you didn't really do anything on that team. Like, the defense.
You did the absolute least of a person who ever won a Super Bowl.
Think about what you had to do. You are Joe McElroy. You are the Alabama quarterback. You were the game manager.
You are King Coattail.
You had Jamal Lewis at running back. You know who you are?
You're Stetson Bennett.
You had Jamal Lewis at running back. Stetson Bennett got 2. You had Jamal Lewis at running back. You had Shannon Sharp at tight end with Todd Heap at tight end. They were running the double tight end, run the ball offense. I don't even remember who their wide receivers were.
Was Derek Mason there then?
Yes, Derek Mason, and then they had the speedy return guy.
Quarterback that you have to be that people don't know that you're wide receivers. Tom Brady made Julian Edelman a household name.
Hall of Famer. That's crazy. Which is crazy because
Wes Welker.
Crazy because I feel Branch. Like Trey Brown and Deion Branch are severely underrated compared to, Troy Brown compared to Edelman and whoever else you're talking about. Troy Brown played DB and wide receiver and return punts. And he was the DB in the AFC Championship game.
And he made lunch for the team.
And he was the DB against Peyton Manning. He was good. Like, Troy Brown is underrated. Deion Branch was really good. But, the Patriot way. Once you become really good, go get your money elsewhere.
It's not the Patriot way. We're not calling it the Patriot way until the Patriots do something. It is the Tom Brady way. Tom Brady went to Tampa and won a championship.
No. You jumped in before you let me finish my point. My point is the Patriots, no matter who's there, the Bill Belichick way is we get you when you're younger, we show that you're really, really good, and then when it's time to pay you, you go elsewhere. That's how it is, and that's what they did with those 2 receivers. And then they kept Edelman, and they kept because they became cool with Brady. So, but to tie this all in, Trent Dilfer, you, sir, to put a bow on this, gotta shut the fuck up. You don't get to talk.
No, you don't. No, you do not. Continue to tweet and talk so I can have something to laugh about during the difficulty, Joe. Ah, damn, Joe. Joe, it's your boy, Joe. before Tom, you right there. You're not Tom, but you super close to Tom. Have an immense amount of respect for you, and then you go say, I'm going through a real rough period in my life. All the people who I did not think were something, they end up being that later.
I thought
Jay
you
Prince
were say
on
all
every
the people
podcast in the world. Dion is a sham. Ed Reed going on live, and Jerry Rice with that gold encrusted, ruby encrusted helmet, and now Joe Montana telling us that he starts Jimmy Garoppolo. How, Joe?
I mean, so here's the thing. They asked Joe next year, in terms of the situation, who would be your starting quarterback. He said you would re-sign Jimmy and start Jimmy.
That is the absolute worst case scenario.
Yeah, unless you look at the
And
quarterbacks
that's
you
never
have.
going to happen.
But look at the quarterbacks you have. You have Trey Lance, never played a game, or played one game in 3 years. You have Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, just tore his UCL, which is a baseball injury. Then you have Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo is the only person with legit experience on that team. I mean,
you can't bring him back.
I mean, so I see what he's saying, why you start Jimmy, but I think Joe neglected the point that you traded three first round picks for Trey Lance, and Brock Purdy pretty much took his job, and Jimmy Garoppolo has been benched not once, not twice, but 3 times, as well as being hurt.
A lady.
So at some point, the 49ers got to figure it out.
I mean, Trey Lance is going to be healthy to start the season. You have to start him. You used all of your draft capital to get him. Why do you think you could just make him a backup?
Because Brock Purdy is undefeated when healthy.
Yeah, and you no.
The same thing happened with Trent Green and Kurt Warner. The same thing happened with Drew Bledsoe and Phillip Rivers. The starting quarterback got hurt. Same thing happened with Drew Bledsoe and Tom Brady. The starting quarterback gets hurt. The backup comes in as a rookie and manages the game until they learn, and then they end up building the offense around them. Same thing happened with Tom Brady. It's the exact same thing.
The issue with this
except for they won the Super Bowl.
is that you have another front office that's done everything else really good. So you can't even really get mad and say, I'll fire somebody. Because you can't. Because as soon as you fire them, they'll be hired immediately. Any of those front office people, they're going to get jobs immediately. Because they've done everything else so right.
Why would
it's actually a very...
Well, keep going. I was trying to understand.
The reason I'm saying that is that you have spent a ton of draft capital in Trey Lance. And if Trey Lance doesn't pan out, that's a big miss. It's a very big miss. I think you traded 4 draft picks for him. Mm-hmm. If you weren't winning, that will get you fired. Eventually, you're not moving to the next step because you don't have a quarterback. Somebody's got to be to blame, and that's got to be the person who said pick Trey Lance.
And you just traded the best of all the rest of your picks for Christian McCaffrey. So, I mean, you could always just go get Aaron Rodgers.
To get to these. Think about how many times the 49ers did not take the next step because of what? Quarterback. That's been for the last 3 or 4 years. Shanahan has been there. That team has never
different,
been
but it's Garoppolo though. It's Garoppolo. They Garoppolo.
No, but
this year they traded for Trey Lance so he could be the guy. He's got his ankle broke. Excuse me.
But the year before Garoppolo was hurt too. Remember? That's when they had all them other dudes. Mullen and the other guy,
Nick Mullen and
Bestard or whatever his name was. I forgot. CJ something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have as well put together as that team is. They kind of are falling into point where there's like, oh, we can just never get a quarterback. That's a bad place to be. How many more times do you think Kittle gonna keep rocking with third string guy?
Well, I mean, you keep making it to the NFC Championship game, y'all just gonna have to figure it out.
That is kind of that's the tricky part is nobody else is consistently successful, but you know how this story ends every time.
In the NFC Championship game. And
with a quarterback who nobody knows.
And not for nothing, I mean, you never know. It might be a blessing in disguise for the 49ers because if he had won that game, then you had to play.
No, that's never the answer. Super Bowl is always the answer.
You are wilding. If he went to the Super Bowl and went 11-0 and led that team to the Super Bowl, there's no way that he doesn't come into training camp as the number one. There's no way.
You know how people won't care if you went to the Super Bowl, they would not care. You won the Super Bowl, they could tell you all 4 of them picks could go to hell. Because as much as you missed on Trey Lance, you knocked it out of the park with Brock Purdy.
Yeah, and
just all you got to do is tell them that. Just tell them, have them go fix it on Wikipedia. Brock Purdy was drafted at Trey Lance's spot, and Trey Lance was drafted at Brock Purdy's spot. Hit him with the Men in Black flashy thing. All is forgotten. We got a championship.
Yeah, we'll see, man. That is an interesting storyline to say the least for next year. Who's going to be the starting quarterback?
Trey Lance. He's the only. Jimmy has to go.
I agree. You
hurt.
spent all of that. You have to. Jimmy's gone. Jimmy's a free agent. I agree because you spent all that draft capital. But I mean,
but we also, in the back of our minds, we know that this is going to crash and burn. So we're trying to see how it ends.
They ain't crashed and burned yet. They've been chugging along.
But how many times you keep driving into that wall before that thing blow up?
You got Debo under contract. Right. You got Kittle under contract. You got Trent Williams.
It's going to go one of two ways. Either they're going to finally break through and win a championship, or they're going to be the team that was always knocking on Destiny's door.
And I'm trying to trade Trey Lance, and you don't have any draft picks. A defensive player. I don't know which one it is. It can't be any of the linebackers, and it can't be any of the defensive line. Maybe a secondary player to the Bears.
And get who?
Justin Fields. I would do that. That's all you can do.
Yeah, honestly, you don't have enough picks to talk to me for Justin Fields.
You don't. That's why I'm saying you're going to have to throw in players, and they got the defensive players to throw in. But and they're also looking for a defensive coordinator.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Because if you think I'm going to give you the better quarterback for the quarterback that you don't want, then I'm going to want something extremely expensive. I'm saying hand me a Bosa. You want a quarterback, right?
I'm not giving you Bosa. But
give me Trent. I ain't taking something. I'm coming back. What Denzel say? I'm leaving you with something.
I'll give you Trent. Trent's like 34. I'll give you Trent. 32. He's 32. I'll give you Trent.
Shit. Trent could be 42 the way he's knocking humans out.
Yep. Speaking of quarterbacks, though, Patrick Mahomes can walk off the field right now, drive home, and never play another NFL snap, according to Rich Orenberger, and he'd be a first ballot Hall of Famer. 5 seasons in the NFL, and this has never happened before. He's a mind-blowing talent. 2018, hosted the AFC Championship game. 2019, hosted the AFC Championship game, won the Super Bowl. 2020, hosted the NFC Championship game, lost the Super Bowl, but wasn't his fault. Probably was the most valuable player out there on the field against Tampa Bay, including Tom Brady being there. And he was the better quarterback and was the most valuable player out there. 2021, hosted the AFC Championship game. They ended up getting upset by the Bengals. 2022, hosted the AFC Championship game and are going back to the Super Bowl for the 3rd time in 5 years. And again, his first year, he just didn't start because he was a rookie, and they ushered Alex Smith right on out of there after that.
My boy, Alex Smith. I mean, I've been trying to communicate this for a very long time. I think to start this season, he'd already had a better career than Dan Marino. As soon as you have a better career than Dan Marino, what are we even talking about? There are so few people who've had a better career than Dan Marino. You're not just Hall of Fame. You're toppest of tier already. I mean, think about all the people who you wouldn't even put. Brett Favre or Patrick Mahomes.
Think about this. The most TDs by a QB receiver duo in postseason is Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski. They played together for a long while. They're at 15. Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce are at 13 right now. And they've got probably 3 or 4 more years left. Mahomes got like 10 years. Kelce, I think, is probably going into his. He's at the peak right now. I think eventually he's about to get to the downtrodden part. But I mean, the way that Andy Reid is coaching, Kelce might be able to play another 5-6 years.
And this is not on this, but you know who they're looking at. The tight end that was at Utah. That's who they're supposed to draft.
Kincaid.
So yeah, you could have, like we talked about earlier with Shannon Sharp and Todd Heap. Yeah, Kelce will. I mean, because the other Kelce's ability to always get open,
always
be
open.
valuable for 5 more years.
Kelce can get open, and then he can be schemed open, and he could get schemed open as well, which is insane. That ain't low key right now. I mean, Gronk was just big and unstoppable, but Kelce has entered that conversation because what made Gronk was the AFC champion. I'm actually watching that right now. The AFC championship game in which the New England Patriots beat the Kansas City Chiefs, where they basically just lined Gronk up out wide and said, we're throwing it to Gronk every single time down the field. Now, Travis Kelce, who did that last year against the Bills, I mean, at this point, he is unstoppable. Like, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do against him. You can't double team him because Patrick Mahomes is too good. There's too many other ancillary or other pieces that can be open as well. Ain't nothing you can do.
So let me ask you a question. Hypothetically, they win this Super Bowl. Is his career better than Aaron Rodgers?
Yes. His career is comparable to Aaron Rodgers right now, I would assume. Well, Aaron Rodgers got 2 MVPs, 2 or 3. Patrick Mahomes has 1.
Aaron Rodgers has
2.
But I'm saying if he wins his second championship, I think that
he's better.
I don't know of a way to put Aaron Rodgers in front of him ever again. And if you can't put Aaron Rodgers in front of him, is he better than Drew Brees?
Yes.
He running it up. I mean, now
Drew Brees got 2 championships. 2 championships. All them people you talking about with 1. You can't have that conversation with me because now you're trying to compare your career on superlatives, on everything else, on all of these other accolades. MVP got 1 of them. On offensive player of the year got 1 of them. On quarterback of the year got 3 of those.
So if he wins a Super Bowl, then and this would be year 6 coming up for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
That means that the only people who I can think of readily available to even talk to him in year 6 of his career is Tom Brady, Peyton Manning,
Terry Bradshaw, Joe Montana,
Trey.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Troy Aikman.
I think that we have. I think you gotta like. I don't think of all those guys. I think Troy's probably the worst, but he won so much. You can't.
Roger Staubach probably can too. Roger Staubach was really good.
Before my time.
At that part, that's where I stopped because I can't go to the 60s in the 50s. I can stop.
But what I'm saying is, you automatically. I mean, if he wins this Super Bowl, he zoomed past Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, a lot of his stuff is just longevity and consistently doing it. Mahomes zoomed past him in 6 years. He clept through his career.
Well, I mean, I mean, there's a conversation with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, man, he put himself above the team. I mean, and Aaron Rodgers is the reason that they lost most of the NFC Championship games, except for the one against the Falcons. They just got outclassed against the Falcons. But most of the other times, he's the reason that they lost. Nobody else. You played poorly. You played poorly against the Lions. You played poorly against the Buccaneers. You played poorly against the Falcons. Lions. You played poorly against the Eagles. You played poorly against the 49ers. So there's a conversation to be had about Aaron Rodgers being a bit overrated. But,
I just don't think that people have really considered how fast he's moving up. And it's not that he's moving up. He's moving past the people who you have the utmost respect for. He is running past them.
Well, yes, he is. That's attributed. Again, he also hit the NFL in the most quarterback-friendly era of all time, right? As Trent Dilfer said, you can't really touch the receiver. You can't reroute him. He can't get hit, and he's mobile enough, but he's good enough.
So there is the Trae Young effect here, where you've had more opportunity than anybody else.
But at the same time, the stuff that you're doing is better than anybody else has done. Like the eye test we've seen is crazy.
The other part about this is there's nobody who you got to have somebody in your era be close to you first, because you can say that, hey man, it's a quarterback friendly era. Well, then show me somebody else who can do what I'm doing. At least one. Like Tom and Peyton. Well, I guess this is kind of how the Tom versus Peyton thing happened. Is Tom kept winning them, and maybe that's what Josh Allen or Joe Burrow ends up being, is the Peyton Manning who just gets his two, which is still a lot, but you just ain't in that category with Tom.
Tom Brady has thrown for how many yards in his career? He's like the leader, right? He's the leader in
like 80,000 yards.
He's thrown.
He's thrown for so many yards. When they told me how many it was, I said,
he's thrown for 89,000 yards, 89,200 yards. He did that in 22 years, 21 years. We'll say 20 years, because 2000 he didn't really play. 2008 he got hurt. 20 years he threw for 89,000 yards. Patrick Mahomes is in year 5 and has thrown for 25,000 yards. That means if he stays on this pace, which I don't expect, but if he stays on this pace, he will have thrown for 100,000 yards. 100,000 yards.
Prayers to AFC cornerback, because y'all gonna get y'all ass tore up, boy.
80,000.
You imagine being
25,000 yards in 5 years. He did not play his first year. So his first year he only threw for 284 yards. So we'll take that 200 yards away and we'll just leave it at 24,000 yards even. He's thrown for 24,000 yards in 5 years. He's thrown for 192 touchdowns. He's thrown for 192 touchdowns in 5 years. That's 40 touchdowns a year almost.
And y'all in 1 year he only played 14 Super Bowls early. He gonna get out of here.
10 years. If he wins 5 Super Bowls in 10 years or something crazy like that, I know that's a lot of pressure, but I mean, hell, we are seeing.
Looks like he's dealing with it pretty well.
We are seeing LeBron, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. No, we're seeing Magic Johnson. That's who we're seeing. Magic Johnson came in.
Any of that.
Magic Johnson came in rookie year and won a championship. Magic Johnson came in and was, as soon as he started, he was immediately the best player or the second best player on his team. Patrick Mahomes came in and everybody knew he was better than Alex Smith. And then the next year, he started in the first year, his second year in the league, first year as a starter, he won a Super Bowl.
Wait, hold on. But the Magic had did they have a championship before Magic?
The Lakers? Yeah. Yes.
What I'm talking about, no, but Kareem did not have one, right?
No, Kareem had multiple. Kareem won with the Bucks.
Yes, you're right.
Luau.
But I was trying to remember, had they won one as the Lakers with Kareem. But no, then because what I'm saying is, like, the Chiefs before Mahomes, there was nothing. The championship started.
No, I mean, they didn't win a championship, but I'm saying they made it to the AFC division. They made the playoffs consistently.
But yes. But
they did have a championship. They won a championship in the 60s. They beat the Packers.
Okay, what I'm saying is, like, modern era. Now, if you go from 60s to 2018.
I mean, if you don't say that, then no, the Lakers didn't have any. If you want to say that, because, I mean, the Lakers won theirs in the 50s, 60s.
But Kareem already had a championship. Mahomes is like the originator of this era of the Chiefs. I don't know if you've ever seen anybody who starts their career this good. He just might. He's
across
in
sports. I think
own.
Magic Johnson would be in that mold. That's the only person I could think of that would be in that mold of starting.
But he was partnered with Kareem.
Yeah.
Holmes is like, it's me, and we find some other guys to go with me. That's the reason.
I think
I give him a little bit more credit because he has to be like the leader of this team, basically as a fresh out of college.
So is Magic. Okay, fine. Agree to disagree. Magic was the same way. Like, Magic was the same thing,
but with
everything.
Kareem.
Okay. Oh, all right. That's fine. I mean, okay. Patrick Mahomes also was fortunate enough to get Andy Reid versus, I mean, it's the same thing. You had an unproven coach. You had a proven coach. You had an unproven coach with Magic. He had Pat Riley.
You're right.
So I mean,
you're right, and that is kind of the swap. Is you had
kind of pulling straws. So I'm not really arguing with you. I'm actually agreeing with you. You had Kareem, but I think the dynamic of the teams. He had Kareem. Well, you had Andy Reid, who had already made a Super Bowl, and if it wasn't for Tom Brady, would have won the Super Bowl. And Andy Reid made it to 4 straight NFC Championship games with the Eagles and Donovan.
Right.
So he's fortunate enough to fall into Andy Reid, but to say that, to piggyback on what you were saying in terms of starting, what I was saying earlier is he's also fortunate enough to play in the best era for quarterbacks, and you pair that with Andy Reid, who is one of the most innovative offensive minds of modern football, is the same way you had with, like, almost every type of dynasty, right? So you had the 49ers is what I can think of with Bill Walsh. The 49ers became the Bill Walsh 49ers because of the West Coast offense. He invented the West Coast offense, and they came out there with Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, and John Taylor and Roger Craig when they were basically running the ball. I think they won in like 88, 86. 84 was when the Bears were running the wing T with Jim McMahon and Walter Payton and sending one person deep every play and just playing defense. So I think he's been benefited from him being actually the one to benefit from coming in at the same time, and his talent being so much better and evolved for this, which is why a lot of people talk about Tom Brady, because Tom Brady evolved with football or lobby football to evolve to his skill set. Either way, however you want to talk about it. Let's go to Philly real quick. Since we talked about Kansas City, Philly won the NFC Championship. Philly's wild. Stories told in 4 pictures.
This is a very Philadelphia thing to do.
Turn up. You climb up on top.
First of all, your ass ain't had no business up there in the first place.
Yeah.
Then you fell and got hurt your neck. And she's got a big grin on her face, and the lady looking at her like, you fool.
You fool.
Look at
I don't even watch football. That's how she looks.
And I'm definitely not watching it now. And in true Philly fan, she's unbothered.
Hey, man, I'm not going to lie. There she is right there. Oh, they fell through. Oh, I didn't see that part.
Yeah.
Well, what y'all think bus stops made out of? Yeah, America's cheap.
Clearly vibranium.
Not vibranium, aluminum. But
made of fools,
luckily,
clearly stacked on top.
Luckily, she's okay. I think she didn't hurt her neck, but she's fine. Of course, she let everybody know that she's fine via social media, so it is what it is. Shout out to Autumn Lockwood, will be the 4th woman and first black woman to coach in the Super Bowl. She's an assistant sports performance coach. She works mainly with the DBs and skill positions, I should say. This is, I hate that somebody says sweet. Who cares what color she is anyway? Good job either way. I don't like that comment because you don't understand the importance and the struggle that not only black people have had to get ahead, but black women have had to get ahead. So shout out
specifically
to her, Autumn
and
Lockwood.
Stop qualifying other people's successes. Mind your business.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Autumn.
Yeah, congratulations, Autumn. If you're going for the Eagles, that's just another reason for you to go for the Eagles. Philly, first team to have 4 players record 10-plus sacks. Hassan Reddick has 16 sacks. The Eagles got to win this year because they got a lot of people to pay. Josh Sweat had 11 sacks. Brandon Graham, who everybody thought his career was over because remember he tore his Achilles, 11 sacks. Javon Hargrave, 11 sacks. Now, I will say you probably, if this is 33 plus 16 is 49, you probably got to give, so that's 50. We'll say 50. You probably got to give 25 sacks of them to the defensive tackles because those two guys pretty much
monsters.
Fletcher Cox and Jordan Davis just pretty much eat up blocks. You can't double team anybody, and you can't run outside because the linebackers are free. They have built they're an evolved version of the Ravens from the 2000s. To me, that's what it looks like to me.
And that front 7 is insulated. They're gonna get the matchup that they want
every time,
and it's tough on you, man. Surely tough
on you. Tough on you, man. So this will be a great game. We'll talk more about it this Saturday because the game is on Sunday. It'll be interesting. It will be interesting. Derek Carr. Derek Carr trolled himself, saying his invitation to the Pro Bowl got lost in the mail for the past seasons, but he's going back to Pro Bowl number 4. See you in Vegas. For our Baltimore fans that keep saying Huntley is a Pro Bowl quarterback, that is true. He would make the Pro Bowl. Pay him and Lamar. You got 2 Pro Bowl quarterbacks. One's an MVP. You better pay both of them. Or you could try to trade Huntley and let me know how that works out. Nobody about to pay.
Let me tell you, you might as well stop even telling people you're a Pro Bowler. This ain't it. And this is the reason it's a flag football game. You got Josh Allen opting out to go play Pebble Beach. It's over.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I actually watched the Pro Bowl. I liked the flag football. It was actually very entertaining and organized the way they had it. But I don't know if you'll ever get top
You know how long that's going to be good?
This year.
Until somebody gets hurt.
Tyreek got laid out, boy.
Woo! But I mean, laid out. But to me, that's fine. But when they used to have the different tests, then Seahorn tore his ACL or something. That was kind of over after that. Same thing with this. I like to see it, but
players started opting out of that when Robert Edwards tore his knee from UGA. He tore his knee in the volleyball game. Once that happened, that's when it started quietly. And then once somebody else got hurt, it was like, no more. We're not going. So just want to throw this out there. Your weekly Lamar Jackson update. Franchise tag amounts for for quarterbacks in 2023. $32.416 million. As we reported on before, Lamar and the Ravens are $100 million off on guaranteed money in contract negotiations. Also, keep in mind this 19.74 for T. Higgins. Talked about that with the Falcons as well. That's a lot of money.
Get us one by hook or by crook.
By check or debit. One of these people will be coming to the Falcons, we hope. But just keep in mind, if again, I can't remember a player that's played under the franchise and played the season under the franchise tag that was good and actually ended up staying with the team. So, y'all make sure y'all pay attention to that, man. Do we want to talk about Eli Apple? Eli Apple has a lot of mouth, pause if necessary. Talks a lot of shit. And apparently a lot of players don't like him. Sauce Gardner says his performance don't match his words on Eli Apple and his social media trolling of other NFL players. Eli Apple is the Patrick Beverly of the NFL. Wow.
Down the field, I mean, he's so explosive. Sauce Gardner is able to sit on and moves.
CLA as well. Play fake. Burrow, step. He'll dial up the deep ball. Jamar Chase, broken up.
So those are just Sauce Gardner highlights. But basically, a lot of people don't like Eli Apple. He is a known troller. Like, he is the troller.
Please play the shady clip before we get out of here.
Which shady clip? Oh, this one?
Go to the next one.
Shady McCoy went on the Bengals. The Bengals went in on him.
And I'm going to give Pat Bev some respect. They were trying to compare Eli Apple to Pat Bev. I said, hold up. Now, right now, Pat Bev might not be doing a lot.
Kevin Durant will never have a better.
Sorry. My bad. Start that over.
Hey, and I'm going to give Pat Bev some respect. They were trying to compare Eli Apple to Pat Bev. I said, hold up. Now, right now, Pat Bev might not be doing a lot. And he do a lot of trolling. I said, but Pat Bev got a first-team all-defense.
Yeah, he do.
Where Eli Apple, first-team defense, and he was a journeyman. He was cross seas, and he got his stuff together.
Yeah.
Compared to Eli Apple was with the 10th pick in the first round, and year 7 he's been on 4 teams. They different. And he got no all-pros. He got 0 Pro Bowls. I mean, like, he barely could pick his own number. So my thing is, like, they different. They different levels of ball players.
He said that man can barely pick his own.
He said he can. Oh.
Give you.
You got to explain that. You got to.
You look like you're a 32. Take that. You're kind of tall. You'll look good in 28. Take that. 42. Come on, man. This how bad you got to be. You go. Hey, and I'm going to give Pat.
When he said that dude don't get to pick his own jersey, I was done. I love Shady. That and the quotable Dak is ass.
Yeah, man. I mean, Eli Apple, this is the role that you get when you try to play the villain. When you are the villain, this is what happens. People take shots at you, and you can't be the villain and not produce. I mean,
yes, you can. I mean,
go ahead, take a shot. I laid it up for you. Take a shot.
Nah, I'm not gonna do that. That's lazy. But if they win, you validated him. All he has to do is win one, and Eli Apple will be. It's nothing you can do after that. And there's nothing you can do except for, because he'll always be able to say, "Well, I was a champion."
So you got to get there first, because I feel like he's about to be the first one cut off the Bengals. So, because he's a free agent, and they're not going to resign him. Last in, first out. Real quickly, shout out to Brian Flores. We always going to cover Brian Flores. We know we've been here a while, but we always going to cover Brian Flores. He has been hired as the defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings. He was one of the last remaining candidates for the Arizona Cardinals head coaching job, as well as he was a candidate for multiple teams for defensive coordinator. He ended up landing with the Vikings. Shout out to Brian Flores. Shout out to Mike Tomlin for giving him a shot or giving him another job in the NFL. We still don't know what happened with all of the lawsuit stuff, but
we're going to see how it plays out.
We gon' see. And then finally, I wanted to say to a Georgia Bulldog, shout out to AJ Green AJ Green called it a career. He has announced his retirement after 11 years in the NFL. Shout out to AJ Green, man. Well earned.
Yeah, congratulations on a dominant career, being one of the more exciting receivers.
Got to be Hall of Fame, right?
Constantly. Yeah, absolutely.
Got to be Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's actually one of the Georgia players I really like a lot. Surprisingly,
you know, that's what we were trying to get. We weren't trying to go after Julio. We were trying to get AJ Green, and Cincinnati took him one pick ahead of us. And when we traded with Cleveland, so we was like, well, we got to get Julio. We got to get Julio.
It's a hell of a consolation.
Y'all think AJ Green's underrated? Wow. I don't think he's underrated at all, personally. I think he gets all of his respect. I just didn't,
Yeah, I think he's properly rated.
Mm-hmm. Very much.
Well,
so.
It depends on what circle you are into. I think that there is a community of people who don't give him nearly enough respect. But there's also a good amount of us who know who he is and what he was.
Him at Georgia, he at Georgia, he's the reason that so many of the coordinators got fired, because Georgia had him. They had all those running backs, and you still were losing to South Carolina. Like, you can't do that with all that talent. So,
boy, that was a good time.
Well, now you losing to Vanderbilt. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of episode 89 of the SplashCast, the Around the League edition. Monday Night Raw. We appreciate y'all hanging in with us, man. This was a long show, but we told you we had a whole lot of work, whole lot of stories, and of course, there was a whole lot of chaos that went around.
We got punched,
so we had to. So, with that being said, Nora, if we ain't missing anything, take us out.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, thank you for the hanging out through the audio and video experience. We are coming to the close of another one. Number one, more black baseball, and we're looking for baseball to start again. I'm kind of missing my Braves. Number 2, more black cowboys and cowgirls. Number 3, historically black college university in your neighborhood. Nope. The one that your cousin went to, the one that you went to, the one that your mother went to, the one that your homegirl from 17 years ago went to. Send some money over there on their behalf. The historically black college and university in your neighborhood. The one that you go tailgate in, the one that you go kick it, you go to step shows, whatever it may be. Send some money over there. And then once again, the greatest learning institution in all the world, the Hampton University. Send some money over there. Send your entire check, your pension. If you got a bonus, send it all to Hampton and tell them SplashCast told you to do it.
Yeah, man. We appreciate y'all. Y'all make sure y'all like, follow, subscribe, rate, review us, tell a friend, and we love y'all, man. Stay safe. Peace.
This is the SplashCast weekly schedule. You can find us on Monday Night Raw. That is the Around the League edition, where we cover all of the major leagues around the league. Tuesday is the ATL edition, Braves, Falcons, Hawks. Wednesday is when the playlist comes out. It's a SplashCast 24, 12, or 36 pack, just depending on the music. Thursday, for everybody who was not able to catch us live on Monday, they can catch up there on the Around the League edition. And then Saturday, of course, we bet beers for Saturday Morning Live. If you ever need to find us, we can be found at thesplashcast.com and, of course, via Instagram at thesplashcast. Welcome to the SplashCast. You can find us at the link below. You can find the podcast versus audio and visual on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Our social media, Instagram, Twitter is @_the SplashCast. We can also be found on Twitch. We can be found on Facebook, TikTok. Also below that, those are our episode playlists. The newest one is always up. We can be found on Apple Music. We can be found on Spotify. There is the playlist Home, which is for all of the different playlists. And then we have the playlist Master List, which is every song that's ever been on any of the playlists. And of course, for all of you podcasters, we can be found on Anchor at the SplashCast.
forgive them. Sometimes I wish I could forgive them. It's feeling like I can't breathe. Honestly, friends turn to enemies. The jealousy. I've been woke so long watching these niggas sleep. Everybody trying to get a hold of me to do something. Everybody trying to prove something. Robbing Peter just to pay Paul. I can't be around these niggas that ain't never lose nothing. We think different. Things starting to really seem different. Everything that I was raised on, like honesty and integrity, start disappearing. You gotta watch what you be doing to God, Shiri. Hell no, it's not a threat. But when karma come, he gon' lay it down and let her do something to you. I try not to overstep. The human in me gotta cry. Forgive